Good evening, one and all. It is a Wednesday, it's the middle of the week, and it's time that we jump into some more good old Warframe. Welcome everyone, hope you're doing well where you are around the world today. We got the water and the tea ready. As always required. And so we can get right into the swing of things. I hope you're all having yourselves a wonderful middle of the week though. I hope things are going the way you hope they do. And if not, I hope you could sit back, relax, and just take it in as you rest here today. Welcome all y'all. Oh. And there's a good old clearing of the throat, as standard. Right, so today my focus is on the Coda Bubonico and on the Kuva Ghoulsaw. And we're going to start with the, we'll start with the Ghoulsaw, actually. Let's get the, that one away. We'll start with the Ghoulsaw, because... well, I don't have a reason, I'll be honest. So I'm just going to start there. That's why we're starting now. I think that's the way I put it in the stream title. There it is. So, yeah. Alright, that's the reason for starting there. There we go.
Always a good time on the streams.
Oh, Cat Centaur, thank you very much for dropping your prime here. Much appreciated. Up onto 14 months of support. Cheers as ever on that. Cheers as ever. From Minimage saying, time for my ads just before you pop up and I get one. Yeah, so... excuse me. Oh, that curry is arguing. So, when it comes to the ads on Twitch, Twitch is a little bit of a unhelpful thing in that regard. So, the way Twitch handles its adverts, it'll put it on a schedule, and basically it kind of requires that they're on a schedule. Otherwise, things get a lot worse. And that schedule allows me to prevent pre-roll ads from happening. But there's two issues with that. Two issues. Number one is that the pre-roll ads still happen until the first advert happens on the stream. So if I don't set them to start as soon as possible, then it just... yeah, it just doesn't get rid of the pre-rolls. Sorry, got a little lost in the thought there. Yeah, so I need to get them to start as soon as possible. But the other problem with that is that as soon as possible, according to Twitch, is to start them 1 minute into the stream. Now, if we have a 1 minute round of ads, 1 minute into the stream, how far into the stream should the ads end? 2 minutes in, you would think, right? 1 minute delay, 1 minute of ads, 2 minutes done, everyone's happy. And I have a 3 minute starting time. But that's not what happens. As you experienced yourself there, that is not what happens. So Twitch waits until it's certain the stream is actually live. Then it decides to do a 1 minute countdown. And then once the 1 minute countdown is completed, it then decides it needs to launch an ad. And so gets around to actually launching it. It's not straight away. The countdown leading up to the ad slot isn't actually a proper countdown. It's a countdown to it starting to decide to handle ads. And so when it actually launches the first ad is around about 2 minutes 30 into the 3 minute starting soon screen. Ridiculous. And I don't have a good way around that. Occasionally I can force an advert through sooner. It doesn't always want to let me do that, but occasionally I can force one through sooner so that it ends before I start appearing on screen. But the only real way you can get around the ads, I'll be quite honest, is to either subscribe or use Twitch Turbo. So if they are a frustration, that is all I can honestly offer for a consistent approach. Yeah. Sensor sub ends in 5 days, then can refresh. Oh, okay. You didn't resub with Prime, but it said Prime. It's... But if... nope, I don't know how you managed that one. Because if you subscribed with Prime, you wouldn't be able to resub with Prime until Prime's happened. And if you already subbed with Prime, you wouldn't be able to subscribe with not Prime. Also, we have ourselves our latest VIP on the channel here. Miracle Raven. Would you look at that? Let's pop that into the good old command here. There we go. Miracle Raven, our latest, to grab themselves their diamond badge for 150,000 channel points. My oh my. That does take a while to save up. That does take a while to save up, doesn't it? But there you go. Enjoy your diamond badge there, Miracle Raven. Thank you for being around and supporting for quite so long. Cheers on that. There's always a way to summon all the other diamond badges at the same time, isn't it? There they are. Honestly, Mini-Midge, that's absolutely fine. If you don't have the cash for it, that's... when it comes to subscribing to creators, we should be the very last thing on anyone's budget. You know, you've got your rent, food, and utilities up the top there because you kind of need somewhere to live, some way to eat, and some way to not freeze to death in winter or bake to death in summer, that kind of thing. So you need those at the top. Then you need to look after health and getting to work, all that lot. All that needs to be covered as well. You might wonder, how is health below? It's the health cost that you can kind of push down the road a little bit. The things like, well, really could do with getting a better pair of shoes because it's messing up my ankles a bit, or yeah, I could do with those vitamins, I could do with those little bits. It's the bits you could do with that are good for you, but come below the very top of the pile. But as you go down and down, you're going through your clothing and gifts for various birthdays and whatnot, and planning for that maybe distant holiday trip. And once you get right the way down to the budget, bottom of the barrel stuff, the very last priority, that's when you get to yours truly. That's when you get to supporting creators like myself, because when budgets get tight, we absolutely should be the first thing you cut. Absolutely. And I respect that. It does also mean that my choice of career is in a ever precarious position, so anyone who does have the means and decision to support me, I really do appreciate you. I really, really do. But I ain't nothing against anyone else in the process. Right, so, Kuva Ghoulsaw. It has magnetic because I got it with Lavos, and that is the entire reason why. Once I've got it fully formed, I can upgrade it with a Valence thingy bobbly bob, and just have whatever I want on it. So, not a problem. Excuse me. Let's first go compare it to the original Ghoulsaw. And we see that the original one has a lower attack speed, a lower damage, a substantially lower critical stat, a lower status stat, looks to have about the same damage spread there, so that's cool. But basically everything about it is just lower if it can be lower. The only things that aren't changing are the range. Interesting that they left it at that 2.15 meter range, but it is what it is. Same 100% follow through, I mean that just can't get better. Not unless you want to really break them out. Same base combo duration, that's pretty standard fare for stuff. But yeah, it is statistically in every way an upgrade for the Kuva Ghoulsaw. In every way. But that also comes with the built-in adversary bonus or elemental bonus, whatever you want to call it. What do they call it? Valence bonus. Okay, let's go with that then. Want to try and be a little consistent in this game. But yes, as you'll notice from all of the heavy investment into the modding format and even into the mod capacity, I have done a lot of this weapon so far. It is a thoroughly ranked... Okay, let's get to work on that. So, let's throw in one of my 10 potatoes, apparently. There we go. And what kind of modding can I start with? I think I should be able to just copy over what I had on the original and see if that works. Let's see. Will it or won't it? If I go duplicate, hey, there we go. Override. Now let's see how much that has failed. It might have worked, it might not. Well, that's clearly incorrect, isn't it? Yeah, it's a very basic system. It doesn't really understand what's happening with things like that. For the moment, I can't quite squeeze primed reach into there. Not just yet, so we'll just do that. That's fine. Now, all of this is just to give me some modding so that I can get straight into leveling it. And you know what? Melee influence, shocking touch, yeah, who's surprised? Who at all is surprised that that is where we're going to open up with that? I realize that I can make some further improvements on this already. Things have changed since that original build, at least. So if we do that there, that's going to actually give us a higher critical damage than Organ Shatter in the end, so that's just worth it. The rest of it, I'm not going to think too hard about right now. That pressure point is a really weird one. That's better. Yeah. Non-Exodus basic Tennokai. That's where it's sitting at the moment. It gives a Tennokai. Can I get a better Tennokai into here is the question. No, they're all 7s and 9s, and I've only got 6 to play with in that regard. I could try and cut something else at this point in time. Like if I go like that. Maybe. There we go. That works. Although Opportunities Reach is better. Right. That gives us a way to get started. Hello there, Electronica. And wave some snowy Canada. Look forward to the summer. Your 1 week of not snow is on its way. I say that full knowing that parts of Canada are hotter than where I live, but whatever. Okay. Now this needs leveling up. If nothing else, it just needs leveling up, and then I can form it maybe a couple of times over, get those upgraded mods in here, move this over to the Excellent slot, and see what I can really get out of it. A whole week? Oh yeah. Global warming, you know? Every couple of years you add on an extra day now. We hate to think about it, but it's true. Alright, let's switch Lavos over to Weapon Max. Yeah, that'll be... this isn't the Zoris. That'll be fine. It'll be fine. Putting a whole load of Elemental hoo-ha into it with Valence Formation shouldn't be too much of an issue. Let's go to one of my favourite leveling grounds. Let's head on over to the Survival Steel Path here on Sedna. Is it as fast as going over to Elite Strength 3 Onslaught? Absolutely not. Could I get Radiant Relics in the process if I went to ESO? You know I could. But I prefer it here. It's here that I am leveling my weapon. Me. Rather than someone else just kind of killing things around me. And I prefer it that way. And I could do ESO solo, but then I might as well just be in a survival mission where I don't have a constant switch to, honestly, lower affinity stuff. Alright, I've got to remember the moveset on this. I can just hold forwards. Wow, it's actually kind of weird seeing stuff just burn around me. I know that's how melee influence works, but it is still weird to just kind of see it, you know? Just moving forwards and things are on fire. And a few turning into glowing evaporations of themselves. I realise I've currently got enemy highlighting turned off because I was recording a clip earlier, and I just didn't want the enemy highlighting in the way it looked bad. I have got a video in the works which should be out tomorrow on the NCALs. If you've been religiously watching the streams, you already know everything I have to say about the NCALs, but still, for those of you who haven't, or missed bits and pieces, want to get the full rundown, that'll be there tomorrow. Let's get the heat back, and then immediately ignite that guy. I love how I stop on an enemy for a bit, and then I just continue grinding forwards because they perish. Yeah, to get used to the book having a charge and alt fire? Yeah, fair enough. You know what, let's use this. I forget which one I'm using at the moment. Okay. Donk. I can't help but notice that this Jade Light Xmas did not die. Did I not just hit that guy at point blank? Fairly certain I hit that guy at point blank. How is he alive? May wonders never cease. I'm also not on Naramon, so I'm not actually getting maximum value out of Blood Rush and Weeping Wounds here. I've kind of slightly messed up. So the fact that I'm getting the kills I am getting is kind of impressive. This is just how powerful melee influence is. I'm genuinely not using two of the most powerful mods on this weapon, this unformed weapon, and I'm keeping up with life support. Almost makes me wonder, like, how little investment can you get away with and still keep the required kill rate with melee on Steel Path these days? Is it possible to just downgrade for everything but melee influence? Now granted, I am also using Vader's Formation and I'm using Raw. Both of those are very, very powerful. No getting around that. Forgot they could do that. Forgot who can what. Also, wow, I have left a lot of cheese on the floor. Cheese enthusiasts, look away. We are not respecting the cheese. I beg your finest pardon? What? Huh? Y'all saw that, right? How did I... Right there! There's a part of the map which is outside of the map if you slide. What? Hold on. Mania, can you kindly perish, please? Thank you. Come on. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It's right here, I know it. We came through here. Do I have to slide attack to trigger that effect? Oh. Need to be grabbing life support still. One moment. Damn, that damage bonus was not there, was it? What's this ephemera? It looks like cheese. This isn't an ephemera, this is a Nairu. So having used the Taron Strike, it creates cheese. Otherwise known as armor pickups, just like with health conversion. I don't know why they made it look like cheese rather than armor plates or something, but that's the image they went with. So if you ever want a cheese Warframe, a Nairu. A Nairu straight up cheeses your Warframe. Right, how did... This is really inconsistent. Where is it? Ah, there we go. Right, maybe I need to slide slowly through it. Maybe that's what it was. Yeah. Yeah, because crouching through it doesn't make this happen. But if I slide just right, there it is. I can put myself out of bounds. That's so weird. That is so weird. Alright, back to putting everything on fire. I know, something inconsistent in Warframe? Perish the thought. Let alone an inconsistent bug. That'd make it too easy for the bug testers. I mean, if anything, it shows that they catch the consistent ones. But yeah. Smack. How are we doing on the leveling? Not quite there yet. Okay, a little bit further, a little bit further. Which again, no surprise considering I am missing out on reaching and maintaining max combo. Excuse me. There's a door in Hades that just leads out on the map. Nice. Ah, that's useful, yeah. There was one of those on, what's it called? Infested Salvage as well for a very long time. So the flatter of the two maps, you could go to the far side of the map from where you come in, and there was a small door there that led into a small room, but the small room at the back just didn't load. So you'd just step out into the black and that's it, you were gone. You just fell. Your teammates would watch you just drop and go, oh, well that's not healthy. It did eventually get fixed, but yeah. If you see these kinds of things, submit a bug report. D will get around to it. Level 27. Nearly there. And then I can do this better. Much better. Because these current kill rates we're getting are not great. And that is partly because I just didn't narrow them on. Another acolyte on their way in. Where you at, buddy? There you are. Shit, I nearly killed you before I got to you, but there we go. The DPS was with me on that one. Put a single image under maps out of bounds, it's just Reb holding Lex Prime. I mean, for all we know, there could be various little Easter egg images out there just waiting to be found. But, maybe they don't want to encourage people trying to go out of bounds too much. Maybe. And that is 30. Okay, cool. It doesn't say max, because it's a Kuva Ghoulsaw, but we haven't formed it yet. So 30 is max. My god, look at all this cheese. There was just even more cheese waiting for me. It's kind of a wonder, really, how some tower effects just seem to vanish seconds after you benefit from them. Others really can't help but persist. I mean, just look at this. I've still got 5 stacks of it. Each one is giving me... how much armor? Does it say? Doesn't say here. That's unhelpful. But there's a bunch. Yeah. What are precs for? They're just decorations. There's no card game being teased. They are entirely decorations. Right. Couple of acolyte kills, not too shabby. Okay, let's put in the first of no doubt many former. And that first one is, very understandably, gonna go straight over prime pressure point. Boop. Which means we can also unlock this, move that up onto there. And let's see, what are we missing here? Honestly, more critical damage is always welcome. So let's go... yeah, let's go with normal organ shatter. We don't need the wind-up speed, because we got Telekai, so that'll be good enough as is. Now that is off a 3.3 base, which is a very high base. I don't think that is my actual base, is it? No, that's... I've got 2.1 and it's boosted by my companion. That's fine. Okay. So, let's see, what critical damage do we actually get to then? We got 2.1 multiplied by 1 plus 0.9 from Organ Shatter, plus 1.2 from this, plus an additional 1.2 from Companion. I get 7.71. Ooh. That is a pretty substantial critical damage multiplier, 7.71. And then in terms of critical chance, we get 440% bonus here, and we get 110 here, which means that we get 162.5% crit chance as standard. Again, pretty nice, well beyond what melee duplicate would dare to work with. But if we heavy attack, this is a doubled bonus. It's only this one that's affected, but it is still a bonus. And so that brings us up to 190% critical chance on heavy attack. So that is a very, very, very welcome right there. And we can once again bring Shocking Touch back up to full power. Just a little bit more power on that as well. Okay. Right, let's switch this over to Naramon as well. And see just how much... No, I didn't mean that. Let's see how much better it fares with that. Shoring things up a bit. Hopefully I don't do too many incorrect heavy attacks and waste a whole bunch of power. Alright. Fingers crossed this goes well. You're very right, I could use Gladiator Vice for a little bit more crit chance as well. The cost of attack speed. Quickening isn't just attack speed though, it is also combo gain speed, so there's a little double benefit there. But you're absolutely right. It would lower the attack speed and combo gain, but increase my crit ceiling. It's a trade-off. Oh my god, for a brief moment I looked down at the affinity bar of the weapon and I saw it going up tick by tick as the enemies were dying to the heavy attack. That was beautiful. Genuinely beautiful to see. Hey, well, I'm getting this many heavy attacks in. Let's go for a gas approach. See what happens there. Now, gas isn't going to highlight the enemies because they're not going to be burning. It's a lot quieter on the eyes. A lot less visible is probably what I should have said. But it's going to have that lingering effect, and when Tennokai triggers, when so I just need to re-up the gas. That one just might have begun to expire. When Tennokai triggers, I can miss and hit nothing. And so there we go. When Tennokai triggers, they're all dead. So this wasn't meant to be a fucking bit. When Tennokai triggers and I hit someone with it, we can put a large amount of gas in a large area as a result of melee influence, which was active then, thank goodness for that. And it might lead to a bunch of kills. You know what, honestly I couldn't tell. That's why I only ever put in Discipline's Merit. I mean, honestly, I get it. For me, I do enjoy Discipline's Reach. Not Discipline's Reach. Opportunity's Reach. I mean, Discipline's Merit plus Opportunity's Reach goes hard. But when you're not combining the two, the extra range and the extra time on it, I really do like, because otherwise I have a tendency to throw away my combo. And that always sucks. Speaking of combo, I've still not reached 12 times. That I don't think had influence bonus on it. That is unfortunate. They all died before I could use that. It's a wonder they ever expected Talon Strikes to hit much, when I can accidentally kill things before my heavy attack lands. Okay, so that worked. What is that heavy slam? I'm sorry, I was not ready for that. Or did I accidentally do a melee strike on top of it? Because that felt juicy. Hi, can I get some combo, please? Thank you! No, I was meaning to do a heavy slam, I forgot. Seriously, things are dying actually kind of too quickly to this weapon. It's impressive. There we go. Okay, right. Ah, it does do an extra swipe after the slam. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. That has value. Oh, Angst is just passively dying. I never aimed for you. You did that to yourself. Y'all saw it. I never aimed for Angst there. Angst aimed for themselves. You've become trapped? What's got you trapped? Needless heavy slam, I know, but going out of bounds. Oh, well, I mean, cat in the wall. Yep. You are sealing cat now, or floor cat, hell cat, one of the many options therein. No, why are you on that? Why were you stood here? No, where are you going, sir? Where was that guy going? He was on a journey. I don't know where that... Ah, there's a jade. That was slightly too violent. Oh. Now this isn't doing like damage cap with every single hit, you know, we're not doing some crazy ultra builds here. What XP are we on? Level 29, nearly there. But at the same time, I don't think anyone can really say it's slow, because we've got about 750 kills in 6 minutes. That's what? 110 kills per minute? Just under that? No, wait. No, it's more than that, right? No, it's more than that, yeah. Come on, brain. 125 per minute. That took longer to figure out than it should have. You know how brutal the finisher animations are on the Ghoulsaw? Let's have a look. That'll do it. I don't know what he died to because the damage number never popped up, but that'll do it. Oh, yeah, that was a juicer. That's a do not show on social media level a juicer right there. Let's do it again. You almost asked which frame I was on? Well, that would be a dumb question, wouldn't it? Now, I have taken off one of the finisher openers on this build. Because I don't have access to my usual 3, I've replaced it with raw. However, I think I can do this. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. I need that. And then I can do a lot of finishes. Oh, unless they start dying to melee influence. That was the finisher. Not what I wanted to do, but it's fine. But yes, quite effective. Also, everything is on fire and gassy. Hi, Malice! Oh, yes! Nailed it! I wasn't sure if the Tenakai was going to last long enough. That was perfect. That was perfect. I want to say that one. Oh, I don't have back recording turned on. Damn you, Amazon! Yeah, so every time I watch a show on Amazon Prime, it disables the back recording on my graphics setup because it doesn't want me screen recording their shows. If I don't notice it's done it, because it doesn't notify me, I forget to then turn it on. I miss things like that. Oh well, it'll just have to be a stream forever. Does it have a range attack? Does the Kuva Ghoulsaw have a range attack? How do you see this working, Fate? Just so I understand what the expectations were. Yeah. How do you see this going? Am I talking about Shadowplay? Yeah. Oh, yeah. NVIDIA Shadowplay, if you've got hardware acceleration turned on, which is unfortunately necessary for a number of other features these days, when you go onto sites like Amazon Prime Video, it detects the Shadowplay and turns off. Or rather, Shadowplay respects that it should turn off, I guess. I don't know if it will still turn off with hardware acceleration turned off these days. It used to not. But like I say, I need it for other things. You mean it looked like it? Did it look like it when I swung at the Acolyte? Is that what you're referencing there, Fate? Because I have multiple things increasing my weapon range, but not a ranged attack. So again, this is why I like having Opportunities Reach. No, I've said it again. No, yeah, Opportunities Reach, it is the correct one, yeah. Opportunities Reach adds range on that Tenakai attack. So, in addition to having the Reach mod installed, it means that I have a very good chance of actually landing the attack. I'm not going to misjudge by like 20 centimeters and miss out on the damage. Are we done leveling? Oh yeah. We've been done leveling for a couple levels. My bad, got carried away with the murder. So what's the best element on the Kuva Ghoulsaw? I haven't finished leveling it, let alone modding it. Allow me to finish that, and I shall get back to you on what makes this weapon best. I wish that slam at the end wasn't forced. I really wish that slam at the end wasn't forced. It completely ruins the move. Hello, kitty cat. Welcome on in. How is the mobility when you chain Ghoulsaw dash with Lavos 2? There's no combo there. Like I've just demonstrated with the actual dash on it, it forces a slam at the end of it. That's a complete kill of momentum. No bueno. No bueno. Of its dethrone Praetos? I mean, in what way? For mobility? No. You're saying, we definitely have my share of issues with it, maybe failing to record audio sometimes and turning off. Yeah, so the turning off of Shadowplay, you guys can't actually see the panel on Bob's How, but the turning off of Shadowplay, it is pretty much connected to services which have been identified as wanting to prevent screen recording, which typically is your Netflix, your Crunchyroll, your Amazon Video, that sort of thing. That sort of thing. Now, in terms of audio recording, it records game audio perfectly fine for me. I've never had an issue with it in all the time I've been recording for videos. For microphone recording, however, I can never seem to get it to record in good enough quality. And so I will always record through Audacity instead for the microphone. And that's how I get the composition of what I want in terms of video quality. Now here on live stream, I do it completely differently. I'm not using NVIDIA Shadowplay at all for that. And instead I am using OBS because, naturally, why wouldn't I be using OBS? It is just the right software for the job. But the benefit there then is that OBS is recording as you guys see. You get the screen, you get the overlays, you get my face cam. Whereas when I record with NVIDIA Shadowplay, I'm getting just the game. I'm getting just the desktop audio feed, none of the music that you guys can hear. So I can record clips from the game whilst live streaming that aren't the live stream, or I can save clips from the live stream from just OBS or from Twitch. Multiple levels of different recording capabilities. Now, I could get various plugins as well for OBS, which would expand that further. So you can get plugins which say, hey, only record these scenes, or sorry, these parts of the scenes that are currently being broadcast. And there are many options therein. But considering that Shadowplay is right there, it works. It just works. Can't you cancel the slam with a roll? Probably. Maybe. Haven't tried in... How long did the Ghoulsaw come out originally? Point is, it's still got that slam there. If you need to actively cancel stuff all the time just to get your mobility out of it, it gets draining very quickly. For a slam into a roll, that's fine. But that's because you're not constantly slam roll, slam roll, slam roll, slam roll. When you have to cancel out of an animation every single melee movement, that's tedium. That ain't fun no more. Okay, let's slap another performer into this, shall we? That can go right into there. And then we can go ahead and grab ourselves a Prime Reach. Now, in terms of modding, for haha lol influence go burr, this is basically it. Now, I could consider swapping Quickening for Prime Fury. That has a side grade. There are options, but yeah. It is what it is at that point. I now have a 5.15 meter standard range. Opportunity to reach makes that 8.15, which, to be honest, that's basically short shotgun range at that point. So yeah. He's saying, don't want to derail stream, but at least audio separation should be easy in OBS. So OBS doesn't natively do much in the way of audio separation. However, I do have audio separation through Voice Meter Banana, which then feeds into all of the different audio channels I have. And so I have control over desktop audio, microphone, music, Discord, all separated out. But yeah. Guess I hate this weapon so much. Well. RIP, I guess. Yeah. Moon's got joke going on that I am not privy to. Fair enough. Alright, with this format again, let's just go level up again. Why not? Yeah, I don't know why they felt the need to add the slam. I'll be quite honest with you. I do not know why they felt the need to add it. Everyone, pretty much everyone, there's going to be some naysayers, but basically everyone, when it first came out, went, what? Why is that there? That is stupid. And here we are, now on the Kuva Ghoulsaw, the second installment of that stance. Basically the same weapon, but more. And it still does that. And it completely kills momentum. It's not just bad, it's terrible. Okay, wow, that was hold on, sorry. Early kills, no buffs. There we go. There we go. Oh, sorry, didn't realize the dogs are still here. Yep. Toasted dog. So, okay. We go. Yeah, you can roll out of it. There is a weird delay before I can do it again, so I'm kind of spamming E. Because where I feel like I should be able to press E again, I can't. Especially if I leave it too long. Yeah, that is awkward. The timing on that. When we could just have hold and go. But no, we gotta have the slam in here for some reason. Like, would it be that game breaking? Would it be any kind of negative word? The idea was to go levels 2, Ghoulsaw 3, then 2 again. Unfortunately, cooldown. I do a dash, cooldown 5 seconds. This is not 5 seconds. So that doesn't work either. That's just not it, really.
The Orican Neural Sentry is attempting to purge you from this place.
Yeah.
Stand by for life.
It's a thing. Alright. Buff 1, buff 2. Roll out of it. Yeah, the slam is effective, but let me slam when I want to slam. Slam when I let go of it. That would be brilliant if it just kept going until you release the melee key, and then it instantly switches to slam. That would be lovely! So not only do you make an entrance riding a Ghoulsaw, you make a proper entrance, and they keep the animation. Huzzah! Everyone's happy. Like I said, probably some dickweed on Reddit, but who cares about dickweeds on Reddit? No Moa video at this point, 5-1. No Moa video. Yeah, instead, the forward melee animation is the one that is a persistent strike. I just... Brusky. Brummageddon. Wow.
Technology may work here due to the Circulus's proximity. If you have a Warframe, you may use it.
Did we ever get an explanation as to why the Necromech could work here for a few minutes, but it can work indefinitely on a railjack, indefinitely on the open worlds, with no proximity to the Circulus? Did we ever get that explanation? Oh yeah, and the Intrati Labs. Although Intrati Labs, proximity to the Void, kind of sits halfway in there, so that one doesn't need different explanation, because Circulus and Void is also the same kind of thing. It's just the whole... We can happily use it elsewhere where there is no Void. Kuva? Ooh, that was a nice 2 mil damage. Did I hit a headshot there? Probably, no in this game. Well, I would have loved to have heavy attack something there, but everything was dead. Because influence go bird. Yeah, not entirely sure how consistently I can headshot with this. I think it's just gonna kind of happen. much like most melees, you can't really aim it. You put it in the direction of the enemy and hope for the best. Another one of my issues with melee in general, to be honest. I guess I'd prefer an explanation why they skipped the arcane store for Operation Poison. I mean, we had an arcane one recently, it feels like. Although, to be honest, my awareness of the passage of time is failing me. Maybe they didn't want to keep devaluing the relic pack, not relic packs, sorry, arcane packs from Lloyd and the Eidolon Hunt, all that lot. Maybe they've seen that the prices have come down to where they finally wanted them to be, and so they didn't need to keep on putting it out there. Maybe they did go, actually, you know, people are burning out just too much. We gotta forcibly break them out of it. Ooh, let myself get a little bit low there. It's one of those things that I'm not sure D would end up communicating, just on the basis that no matter what reason they give, people are going to take it and complain about it. Aquify, we're specifically on about the arcanes that get sold in the operations, but sure, separately to that, there are other arcanes which are still very expensive. Part of that is probably they want them to be expensive to encourage people to continue doing the content they created it with. Now, if I'm quite honest, their reasoning for not including a specific item in an event shop, that falls short of my request to know their reasoning for not giving us the drop tables still for multiple sources of arcanes. That stands out to me. Now, I've given up banging on about it at this point, just, do you going to take the L on this one? But, yeah, I thought D were past not giving drop table information, and then Whispers in the Walls happened. Or, actually, it happened right the way back with the Undercroft Portals. But Lloyd Dissolution also continued it. Not great. Hello there, brother. System Override's here. Watched your Lavos video a couple times. Absolutely love his Prime. Oh yeah, Lavos is amazing. I know it took a lot of people a lot of time to really warm up to him, to understand what he can do. And granted, Valence Formation really put him on the map. I mean, really. I don't blame it that for a lot of people Lavos is basically just Valence Formation to frame. I get it. But man, he's got a lot of good. See, Gaz is one of those people. He either doesn't understand or pretends to not understand. It's okay, Gaz. Everyone has their moments. Everyone has their learning moments. You will eventually have yours. You'd rather play side? That's fine. That's fine. You're allowed to have a preference as to which frame to play. Not seeing what a frame is? No one's born knowing things. It's all good here. It's all good. I play Lavos a lot, so of course I see his ins and outs fully. Strengths, weaknesses, and a lot. And if your boy can take him through the guilty solo, no arcane persistence, then I'd say I have a pretty good grasp as to what he's capable of. I have a pretty good handle on it. Persistence makes him worse. Gaz does understand. It's brilliant. Yeah, I get it somewhat frequently. People asking, Ken, wasn't Persistence like made for Lavos? Why aren't you using it on him? Like, am I fucking dead? Do I need to change my tank setup? No. Okay, well, we're good then. I will just not spend the arcane completely overhauling how he attempts to tank. Just doesn't need it. Actively is better without it. Ah, no, heavy attack missed. Oh well. Hanging out one of the uploads. Yeah. I used to spend more time just kind of idling on Twitch, Reddit, YouTube, etc. whilst rendering videos. I've noticed that I get to do that a lot less since I upgraded my PC. It's gone from taking about 1.5 hours to render longer 4K videos to that same long video will take 15-20 minutes. Like, I will render a video now faster than I could watch the video. That's how much faster my rendering is these days. And that might sound normal to some people. For me, that's huge. God, it was such an upgrade. I really hope I don't have to upgrade my PC again for a few years. Because it was also expensive. But worth. With Lavos' current health, don't you have 4 seconds to heal yourself with his one? So with his current health, Arcane Persistence would give you 4 seconds of you ain't dead yet, yeah. Whereas Shield Gate already gives you some amount of that, and shields do continuously reapply themselves. And then you've just got general tanking. I am reminded just how much Arcane Persistence is unnecessary by the time someone came into the stream, not that long after Persistence was released, and they were of the solid belief that Eclipse was actually applying damage reduction after Persistence. They genuinely believed it. They said they tested it. They said they had seen it. It was actively working that way. So I went through the motions and tested it and verified what I thought from the off was absolutely correct. It was not working that way. All they were experiencing on Mirage is that damage reduction actually bloody works. They thought Persistence was working for them in that way because they were just normally health tanking. Persistence wasn't cutting it at all. They didn't need it. So if a Mirage health tank can itself be strong enough to lead someone to believe that Arcane Persistence is working with a damage reduction, when in fact Persistence was doing literally nothing, then yeah, I think we don't really need it. Didn't DE say DR doesn't work on Persistence? Yeah. But at the same time, people also believe that DE can be wrong about their own game, and occasionally, DE are wrong about their own game. They will write descriptions for things which are slightly to wholly inaccurate. Yeah. This one wasn't a know-it-all, guys. To their credit, when shown the evidence, they didn't just silently sod off into the ether. They didn't double down, triple down. They acknowledged that their testing was inadequate, that they didn't test as rigorously as I do, and to be honest, earlier on in my career as a creator, I didn't test as rigorously as I do now. I am still pained, after all these years, still pained about saying that Power Throw wasn't working on something to do with the glaive. I had a bugged simulacrum when I tested it and never revisited it for that video because I did a test and it just didn't work. It was a bugged sim. It just didn't recognize that power throw was actually there because I'd swapped it in sim or something like that. Bug go burr. So I don't mind it when someone does do a test and it seems to confirm what they'd observed, and so they're going, okay, well then that's how it works. It's when someone comes to me with an idea, they're like, oh, Kengineer, have you checked if the damage reduction from Kalervo's 17th ability works with Arcane Persistence? I'm like, I don't know, have you fucking checked? What 17th ability are you even on about? It's things like that. That's when I really get grated by it. It's all fine and dandy having an idea. It's all fine and dandy having an observation. Before bringing it to other people, maybe just give it a try. You know, see if something actually happens. Those are my real pet peeves. When someone comes to me with, what about X? I'm like, what about it? You can finish the thought, let me know. Where are we going with this? Yeah. Oh no, it sounds like you want us to trust and verify? Shock horror! The idea of actually following up on something, I know. Yeah. Mind you, I get that same visceral level of bruh when I read a comment or post anywhere that starts with, so I asked ChatGPT. There is nothing that's going to come after those words that is likely worth listening to. Unless it is very clear this is supposed to be satirical. If the person is making out they're about to write a comment of information, of fact, of anything of substance, it is just the same, really. And I'll be hearing none of it. Oh. Where are you at? Nope. Kindly. Nope, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Are you in spectral form or not? I genuinely cannot tell. There we go. There we go. Okay. How is raw on levels? Still about trying it. Never done it. I mean, it's raw. It's raw and it does raw things. In terms of how it works with Lavos, I've actually got the augment on it, so that I don't need to wait for the cooldown when it expires. Because the way Lavos' cooldowns work, if an ability cannot be recast, cooldown starts after the end of the ability. If the ability can be recast, cooldown starts after you've cast the ability. So in the case of Raw, it starts with no recasting, and so you get to the end of it and you need to get rid of the cooldown. And normally that's not a problem. If you put it over as 2 or 4, you still have access to his 1 and 3 to reduce the cooldown. But in this build, I do not have access to those. I've subsumed off the 3, the 1 doesn't have the augment, so I have no cooldown reduction. So instead I use the augment for the 3, for the Raw, and that allows me to bypass worrying about cooldown on it, because the cooldown runs out whilst the ability is active. Just a little bit of optimization. But yeah, this is specifically what I'm just going brain dead, valence formation, raw, hold weapon at thing. Also, we are well past fully leveling the weapon for now. I know we've been in here 17 minutes, but honestly, this is just kind of fun to kill with. Just keeping up on the process, it's quite effective. Also, was that like 3.8 million damage? Fair enough, that guy got obliterated. Don't mind him. Yoicks. But yeah, let's not go to 20 on this. Let's get out of here and assess where we're at. But yeah, I've got Lavos setups saved with Raffle Advance, with Raw, with Golden Instinct, of course. Subsumes are viable on him if you're using them for the correct reason. If you use a subsume because you wanted to use a subsume, you're doing it wrong. I've said this many a time as well. When someone comes in, hey, I've just got Calevo, what should I subsume on him? Like, wrong question, try again. Get to your build, and then decide what subsume may help you if there is something that is missing. Like on Lavos, his 1, 2, his 1, 2, 3, and 4, all of them don't really buff weapons. It is all through Ven's formation, so he can lose an ability to gain Raw. And that helps with the weapon buffing. Falls King, thank you very much for resubscribing 25 months in a row. That is one hell of a streak you got going right there. Falls King, thank you for continuing it on the channel here. You put Raffle Advance on Valkyrie? I mean, that's an obvious one, yeah. If you're just going //stab with the //stab Warframe, then it makes sense to go //stab harder. That's an easy pickup. But if someone opens up with, what should I subsume on Valkyrie? They haven't started even building a build or talking about it. Valkyrie is a bit of a gimme because she is very stabby, stabby, stabby. That's kind of her whole thing. Whereas for more involved Warframes, when there's the request for what to subsume, I've just got it. It's like, well, don't. Learn about the frame first. Holy dooly, Absasama, please. English only on the channel here. Yeah, that would annoy anyone. Oh! I know you're writing like you're speaking, but... Koi boy. Yeah, that would annoy anyone. It's like you're telling a friend that in Dark Souls 2 magic and stuff like bleed got toned down by bosses, actually having resistances and even immunity to certain things. And they ask you if you're sure why you're playing Dark Souls 2 in a Discord screen share and they can see the lack of damage. Whew. If English is your second, third, or 20th language, all the same, ouch. Took me a moment to get through that one. Took me a moment. The Zomglish is spreading? No, this was intentional. Zomglish is, here is keyboard, here is fist, punch. Hopefully word get through. That was intentional. That was, here are the words, and here are the letters I want to use instead. From Gabu, my stance is, if you have an ability you aren't using, put something over it that will use. I mean, yeah, which requires someone to first know their build. So we basically got the same process there. Once you've got a setup, once you've got a plan for how you're using a Warframe, you can look at it then and go, alright, what are its strengths, what are its weaknesses, what can I subsume to improve this? And that includes, if I've got an ability that is doing nothing, well, let's swap it for something that does something. Simple. Why am I using Vigorous Swap? I'm using Vigorous Swap. That must have been from testing. Yep. That was from testing something. What do I usually have there then? What the hell was I testing that needed Vigorous Swap? Oh, God's thinking about it. What was I testing that needed Vigorous Swap? Oh, it was Guilty. Yes, 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 yes. It was Guilty. Yes, that makes plenty sense. Okay, so... Prime Flow? Archon Flow? Come on now, we can kill with cold damage. Might as well get the extra orbs out of it. No. Shit, what was there? Was it was probably an augment. could well have just been Swift Bite, although Swift Bite isn't really that good on this. No, take that back. Extra duration never really hurt. Or was it... It could have just been straight up stretch. Because low range on Lavos really, really hurts. It could also have been more strength. Oh, that is a nice round number. That is a nice round... Well, whatever it was before, it's now Augur Secrets. That is too beautiful not to have. Come on. I'm not putting Archon Stretch on, though. No. I might as well save the capacity for that starting energy. But yeah. That is a nice number. Look at the... I mean, just look at what Sed's doing here. Oh. 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 Such clean perfection. It's not even 299.9. We can see... from the 6K there, that beautiful 0, 0, 0. Oh, that's gorgeous. Alsu, you'll get this. It's a trip null. It's a trip null. You love to find it. You love to see it. Alright. All of that stupidity aside, back to the Ghoulsaw. Now, my piercing roar. It's recast convenience thing, yeah. It also knocks down enemies, it's a little bit of crowd control, but that honestly does not matter in the slightest. It is entirely because I don't have cooldown reduction on that setup, so I want to have it 100% uptime, and that's what the augment does. So yeah. I find myself coming to an issue here. The issue isn't, is this a good weapon or not? The issue is, how would I know? And I know that might sound a little bit ridiculous. I know that might sound almost facetious. But how would I know if this is a good weapon or not? When melee influence creates literally 2 classes of melees. Take it to level cap? What's that matter? Level cap doesn't exist. Cheers, Dirty Badger. No. Because if I don't use influence on this, it's going to be a bit of a crappy melee weapon, but then pretty much every melee weapon without influence struggles to keep up in the same way. Like, sure, you can rip and tear through a handful of enemies at once, but the moment the spawns start to spread out a bit... Meanwhile, influence and... Yeah. Kareen. Yeah, to be honest, I hadn't got around to sorting out Kareen. Yeah. More melee damage against frozen enemies, unroll, freeze enemies in a 5.5 meter radius for 2-second cooldown. I'll be honest, rolling through enemies to then freeze them, to then attack them for extra damage has never been a big focus for me. Never has been. It's just never felt like the kind of playstyle I care for. Rolling through enemies is the weapon of choice. Now, the most interesting use I've seen for this arcane isn't for use in a melee build. The most interesting use I've seen is actually in a non-melee approach, because this still works. So you can just roll through enemies and shoot them. So yeah. Circumvent, Kareen, Shivering Contagion. I mean, yeah, if you want to go all in on roly-coly, yeah, roly-coly. Sure, why not? Doesn't melee damage also apply to things that are frozen another way? I mean, it just says against frozen enemies, so I don't see why it wouldn't. I don't see why it wouldn't. Overall, afflictions, yeah, we got the heavy attacks. What are the... Ooh, too far. Didn't mean to double tap that. What are the stance bits on here? So this has... I mean, we're not using Richter's Wrath because it's a bit unwieldy anyway. And the slash bonus on the second swing is only a 100% into slash. The force slash on the fourth swing, it's a 400% with knockdown, but that's all the way into the fourth attack. You want them to be dead by then. This one is just 100% on a constant cycle. It's kind of funny that it has 4 instances of it, because I couldn't tell you the difference between those 4 instances. I can't see it. I don't know why that's counted as 4 attacks, to be honest. How have they coded that one? This one is itself a singular attack, and that is where you drive forwards, which is 100%, and then I guess there's the up and the down. I'm gonna guess that's the 200 and 300% there, but I'm not sure. And then this one, which is just no forward momentum, just aim and attack. I don't think I've got any memory of what that looks like. I kind of need to have a look at that in a second. And then into the heavy attack, you've got... First one includes, half of it is force slash. The second one is just a single hit. Interesting. These are some weird modifiers, I'll be honest with you. Let's have a quick looky-loo.
You are a true hunter. Where would the sanctuary be without you?
You just put raw over Lavos' third? Go for it. Do be aware it means no corrosive, no electric, no magnetic, no radiation. So you lose 4 out of 6 elements that you can combine with Lavos. You do also lose ability cooldown reduction, so it's very much a gun platform or weapon platform. As long as you go in knowing all of those things, and you go in preferably with the augment because then no cooldown on raw, you're good to go. Enjoy. Build strength, live life. Yeah, so we've got... okay. That is certainly one of the attacks of all time. Okay. That certainly makes solid use of the 100% follow-through. Does follow-through affect status damage or just the base? Status damage, because status damage is based on how much you hit them. So, by extension, it affects that. Okay, so that was that one. So you got the spinny, 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 which ramps up in damage partway through. And then backwards creates a whole load of slashing into that ragdoll slam. Okay. And... yeah, so let's have a look at the pair of heavy attacks again. We got that one. That's pretty obvious in itself. Looks like it drags it across the ground. We're seeing hits here. Okay. And now let's do double heavy to see the follow-up. That's a very slow follow-up. That is a very, very slow follow-up. Oh my. It slams at them, yeah, but... let's see about getting that with some Tenokai going. There it is. Oh yeah, Tenokai doesn't even follow into the second heavy, so... yeah. We're just not going to see that second attack most of the time.
Did
Damn.
someone say cash money? No. Oh.
Ooh, okay. Okay, I mean, we can say cash money if that's what you want us to be saying at this moment here. Esprit, thank you very much for the 2,500 bits on the channel there. Much appreciated. And I hope you're having yourself a wonderful day, sir. Ooh. Cheers indeed. Ozzy could get to work with afflictions, so let's see. Afflictions. So afflictions is going to work on 4th attack there. It'll work on this as well. That was the riding one, yeah. But there's no 4 status in it to work with. This one, it's on the very end of the second round of spinning. And then it's on both of the heavy attacks. But the second one is kind of pointless. It should be dead. You're spending your tax refund wisely? You know what? I will take that level of wisely right there. Thank you very much on that one, Esprit. Also, bloop. There we go. And a switch up the Muzak. Yeah, we could do that. There we go. But yeah, as I look at these stances, like, there's nothing that's changed about these stances. It is still the Kuva Ghoulsaw, it's still a Ghoulsaw, but, yeah. Little unsure as to where I'd want to be, like, get into the middle of a group and then go like that into that. Yeah, let's try that without influence. Without the spring there, let's instead give it afflictions. Why not? What, there. Let's give us a whole load more of these elite lancers. And we'll add the more to it, why not? Knock them down. Nope. I pressed forward for too long, my bad. Let's big old spinnies, then spin back, and just, yeah. That is killing. Ain't no mistake in that, that is killing. If we go for our Exo-Gokstad officers, they're always fun to bully. Knock some of them down, because that's also funny. I mean, you can certainly tell the difference between who was hit and who wasn't. The hit ones are all dead. Or with afflictions and just riding through them. Okay. I feel like the slam didn't go as far as I wanted there. Let's re-up that. Slam down. And anything that was in the slam radius just dies because the status blocks get multiplied. Well, it looks like. Or I can just do absolutely nothing. That also works too, I suppose. Yeah, that's a little awkward. Something not quite consistent about that. And then that one just gets one shot. Sure, okay. Yeah, that makes total sense. I feel like I need more slam radius. Can I affect the slam radius of a normal slam? Is that something that wants to work with me? Not slam damage, I need slam radius. I thought there was a mod for that. Could have... That's aerial melee attacks, no. Could have sworn there was a mod for it. Was it removed and I'm running on old information? Slam, wiki, blah 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 blah. Slam attack, yep. I want relevant mods. Okay, wiki does not have a relevant mods section where I was looking. Isn't it working just within reach? So slams don't work just within reach, no. Because if it's just within reach, 5 meters covers a pretty substantial radius. Yeah, we're 5 meters away from this target right now. Didn't hit. Yeah. You can see the follow-up in range there. But that is the shortest little slam I could do there. Let me see if I can time this to slam there. Oh, too far. Okay, so I need to be further back. See, that one did hit. In fact, it hit at like 8 meters, that said. So... I don't know. But it also didn't knock them down at that range. Whereas that absolutely slams into them, no pun intended. Because I don't want to stagger, I want a knockdown. How close do I have to get for this? Okay, I mean that was pretty much right on top of them, so that doesn't count. But that one did not knock them down. I have to get really close then. How close do I need to get for this to be a knockdown? That was pretty much as point blank as it's going to get, because they staggered a bit with it as well. That's really close for the knockdown. Because we're looking at the knockdown that is this one. So it shows 2 different knockdowns in the attack there. And to be honest, I'm just not getting that result. And what if I just rode through? Oh, that knocks down. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Possibly affected by previous nerfs to slam radius, maybe. Hard to say. This is one of those areas where the game doesn't really tell you what's going on. Because for slam attack, it has this information. Opens up into ground slam, attack hits all enemies around the point of impact within 7 meters. Does it? And deal 50% damage to enemies on the edge of the impact zone. So the information here is incomplete. We don't actually have that information. So, I can't really add much to that one. We've got the heavy attack still, which has that all ramp up into knockdown, which melee afflictions doesn't need trigger on. We see an absolute shit ton of status effects there. We do the same here. Yeah. Look at that. All the magnetic, all the slash. Is secondary radiate good? Context dependent. Definitely not this context, because this is not a secondary. Yeah, we can get the Afflictions proc out of this heavy attack. So if you wanted to go that route, you absolutely could. I'm wondering how necessary that would be. Because even on a setup like this one, once you've got your combo, is that going to matter? If we resummon a whole new set, I'm not going to activate Raw, I'm going to build combo. How quickly can I get combo here? I mean, that is an effective way of getting a lot of combo. There we go, combo acquired. So that is no afflictions, and this target's dead, as well as the one that was behind them. I wasn't even aiming for that one, and that one died. So you see, with that range there, that's just kind of eaten a whole chunk of them. Would afflictions be better here? I don't think it would be. The circumstances in which a target is not dead yet seem a little bit limited, considering the Exo Gok stats are already getting screwed over there. The heavy attack is said, yep, you're sentenced to death. It's not quite instant, but afflictions doesn't make that instant. It's still going to have to tick. I don't think that's really the way to go on that one, especially as it has no effect when we're not knocking stuff down. Melee animosity, gain a bunch of crits onto the next heavy attack. In combination with Tenakai, you can get some value out of that. I believe it is a modded bonus though. 420%. It's going to go alongside 440 plus 110, sorry, plus 220. Plus, if I swap that out, another 110 on the recommendations one I've made. But still, just here, that's 660. So we have 760 effective multiplier to our crit chance, and that would be offering 420 on the 760. Not a lot more. It's not a lot more. Alright, let's do a quick numberinos here. What would that actually come out to? We've got a base, was it 25% crit chance? Yeah, base 25. So I said 7.6 normally on the 25% gives us 190% crit chance. The critical damage was 2.1, 1.2, 2.1 times 2.1, and then it's the 1.2 from Companion. I think that's how that adds up. Yeah. Is that 5.41? Yeah. No. 2.1 times 3.1. 210% is the bonus I'm getting here. 120 plus 90, yeah. 3.1. Yeah, 7.51 times critical damage. Okay, there we go. So, without the arcane, we have critical of average 13.369 on a body shot, body hit, and given the way melee is, we just kind of have to assume a body hit rather than a headshot. The 13.369 as standard, let's just save that figure. If we add in animosity and assume we get that full bonus, which, given the hits we've been seeing, is not unreasonable, that 420% bonus at 25% base is 105%. So let's increase the crits I've got here by 105. That'll be now 2.95. That'll bring us from 13.369 to 20.2045, only on the heavy attack. So that is a 51% damage increase only to heavy attacks. I can't get excited about that. Like, yeah, it's 51% damage on the heavy attacks, but it's only on the heavy attacks, so it's not a 51% overall increase. Heavy attacks are already the more powerful hits we have, so they're kind of already killing. We're giving up any kind of AoE, we're giving up any kind of other arcane to get the animosity there, so no. I don't think an up to 51% damage increase on that particular hit is the way to go. And if we take out some of our crit chance, well, we're not taking out the crit damage as well, counterintuitive, so that leaves just removing Blood Rush, which then would make all of our attacks substantially weaker. We need to find some way to make up for the loss of that, and good luck making up for that. This mod is more powerful on all attacks than Animosity is on some heavy attacks. Yeah, good luck on that one. Crescendo, we're not doing finishers, it's kind of pointless. Doughty, this isn't a punctual weapon. Does it have any? Oh, it does have some. It does have some, but not enough. So that is pointless. Duplicate, we're well outside of the crit threshold for it, and the better for it, quite frankly. Duplicate is a bit of a Hands Arcane. Melee exposure, good old corrosive, 240% bonus there. If we're putting that against what we've got currently here, which is just a 90% electric, that is a 126% simple damage increase. Not counting for effects of having lower electric, not counting for effects of having other arcanes in its spots, not accounting for the effects of corrosive procs, yada yada, of having to cast so many times. Simple bonus of just 126% applies at all times, so normal and heavy attack, which means, again, Animosity, you're trying your best and you're still failing. But do you really want all that corrosive? Not sure you do, to be honest. And again, it's still single target. Influence continues to win on that side. The armor, arcane from fortification, no. It's pretty bad. Melee retaliation, pretty bad. Melee vortex. I don't think we need it. A less than 50% chance to pull enemies within 18 meters line of sight on a magnetic affected enemy we kill. Is Duplicate good for Kalervo's 1? Chaos Kitty Cat. Kalervo's 1's not a weapon. And if you're meaning to combine Kalervo's 1 with it, well, Kalervo's 1 on Kalervo is a 200% crit chance at base, so Duplicate won't even trigger. For everyone else, you don't even want to be running with just base strength, you want to be running more, so again, Duplicate won't trigger. So no. I'm not sure what combo otherwise you might be thinking of, but just on the fact that Duplicate only works on yellow crits, immediately putting yourself to more than yellow crit completely disables the arcane. Absolutely useless there. But yeah, we're in the same spot as ever, where all the arcanes just kind of feel a little bit blah 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 blah. I know some people who care for melee Kareen, I don't. And that. At 87 Doubties? Yeah, I have a couple. I'm not entirely sure why I have a couple. But, yeah. Newest Duplicate was usable. So that's the thing about Duplicate, is that you can use it if you specifically build around it. But to specifically build around it is to basically cut back on critting, which is one of the biggest scalers of our damage output on melee in the first place, thanks to things like Blood Rush and Raffle Advance. And if you actively cut back your crit to hit another time, I mean, you could have just hit them harder. You could have just gone for the crit. You don't get a proper reward for having done that. Now, yeah, you do double up the what do you call it? You double up the status. It is functionally multi-shot, so you do apply twice as much status while Duplicate is active, but that is Again, not really doing a lot. If it's merely double on an already critting melee weapon, that's not a lot. And again, influence exists. I keep going back to this imbalance. It hurts me. Oh, I'm never going to get over that choice. That design space they've created. Never going to get over that. Nope. Alright. As far as Kuva Ghoulsaw goes, it is kind of just, you know... It's another melee to me. The bits that should allow it to be cool as fuck are a little hamstrung, as they have been since the original Ghoulsaw came out. The Kuva Ghoulsaw, as far as I can tell, doesn't have any unique perk, trait, or benefit. Other than just, well, it's an adversary weapon. See, not a single perk. It is just more Ghoulsaw. The Ghoulsaw. So, yeah. That's disappointing. I mean, I'll be quite honest with you, I already knew that's where we were going to go, but I had to give it a try it out, see how it felt. Maybe I was missing something, maybe there've been changes I've missed, patch notes, yada yada yadas. No, nothing of the sort. Can't say I didn't try. So I'm not going to spend the 3 more former to unlock the ability to add an elemental vice to it. I'm not going to worry about the fact that I don't have a focus lens on it, that it's set to magnetic. I honestly couldn't care. It is yet another melee weapon. And as far as melees go, this may not be everyone's feel, but for me, I just find myself kind of just pushing myself in the direction of enemies with melee. It doesn't matter if I'm holding a smoking, sparking, buzzing saw in front of my face, or if I'm holding a dagger and going swip, 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 or Tonfa's going swaswa, 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 swaswa. For melee ranged melee, you pretty much just keep doing the same thing. I don't really find myself looking at the combos and going, oh, here's something I can really do about it. Every ranged melee, yeah, absolutely. There feels like there's more timing and placement to put that where you want it, how you need it to be. Absolutely on point. You go for something like the Redeemer, and you go either your heavy attack approach, but you get rewarded for those headshots as well, or you can go for this kind of timing rhythm game, which I consistently fuck up. Now that's just a little satisfying. Yeah, I'm not killing right now, don't care, not the goal. This is the goal. Donk. But yeah, we don't want another Ghoulsaw, we want another melee stance. Or just kind of take the melee stances that exist and go, hi, this one kind of doesn't really do it. Let's make it where it can. Yeah. I was having a discussion, a brief one, with a few other creators with regards to Ribbons, for example. I know it might sound like a bit of a tangent, but hear me out. And when it comes to the balancing of Ribbon mods, and to be quite honest, I couldn't care less for the attempts to try to balance them these days. They are not dead content, people still use ribbons, they are zombie content. There is nothing that's keeping them alive, they are rather just there and doing their own powery thing. Because rather than trying to make somewhat difficult to obtain mods with even more difficult to obtain stats be the way to make a lower meta weapon good, just buff the weapon. Am I wrong? If a weapon is supposed to be used more and isn't used more, fix the reason it's not used. It just seems a little obvious to me. And I know with the Incarnans that's kind of that, but that doesn't fix the base weapons. That just says, oh yeah, you got the weapon, but you haven't really got the weapon yet. If someone is not at Incarnan tier, then you go, oh well, but right now it's shit, but I have to hold on to it because it'll be good later. Okay. Twitchy Worm? Yeah, it's had a bit of caffeine. I used to have even weirder companion bugs in various Simulacrum arsenals. We've had some oddities over time. The other thing, now get the thing to upgrade the thing. And a particularly egregious one of those, if I dare say so, are the augments for weapons that only come through Nightwave. Does anyone care about the Okicore without its augment? The augment that popped into a Nightwave one time was very, very big deal then. Then it went away because the Nightwave vanished. And sometime later it got added to the Nightwave rotation shop. In fact, can I see on the wiki how long between those choices? Okicore. Blah, 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 blah. Sentient Surge. Excuse me. Oh, sorry, tell a lie. According to Wiki, it's not even in the rotation for that. It's in the event shops like Knights of Nabarus. Just one it was added to the thing as well. Wiki's not got it listed, but I could have sworn it got added to these. I'd love to check through and see what else could be available, but they don't actually show us. Also, what is my current layout? No. I love it when default isn't default. Shh, I'm not selling a bunch of those. Shh. Definitely not holding until the release of the next video. Shh. But yeah, when it comes to weapons like the Okicore, where the augment is what makes the weapon happen, I get it with what happened with Komei's signature weapons, where they're supposed to be early game weapons, but then to add relevance to it for later game, here is a Steel Path tier upgrade you get from the Steel Path shop or something like that. You know what? That's cool. I get it. An upgrade to make the weapon more powerful when it's the right time to balance it up to that power, I kind of get it. Because you don't want a signature weapon to be absolutely suck. But to instead have it where weapons which are poorly used get an augment for it instead, and then the augment vanishes again, and then becomes a little bit problematic to obtain, I'm just like, this doesn't feel nice. And those kinds of decisions, I sometimes wonder if they are market motivated. If it's a way to inspire the trading that comes off of the Nightwave system. It feels tinfoil hat, but I can't think of a more reasonable explanation. If I'm quite honest with you, I can't think of a more reasonable explanation to have a weapon become powerful with an augment and then take the augment away from access for an extended period of time. Now, from After History, what weapons benefit the most from Veil's Formation? Used to level still many using CDO bits. The weapons that benefit the most are the ones that don't apply useful status effects frequently. However, every weapon benefits from having high-powered guaranteed status effects. So, in terms of most, it really does come down to those ones where their status chance is terrible, or their status application rate just isn't there. The statuses they have to apply are just kind of sucky suck. Shotgun's a high multi-shot. Honestly, it's nothing really to do with the multi-shot, unless, you know, you want to instantly full armor strip because corrosive on top of these shards, then yeah. If you've got a shotgun that delivers 14 pellets to face, and every single one of them is guaranteed to be a corrosive proc, jobs are good, and that is armor strip in a can. But outside of armor strip in a can, it's less so the multi-shot, and it's more so the reliability of a powerful status effect. Take, for example, a sniper rifle. A normal sniper rifle, you aim at enemy, bam, hit them in the head, they're dead, job done. Now you shoot the next enemy, and the next, and the next. You can mod your sniper rifle with blast, but now you have to mod your sniper rifle for the damage, and the crits, and zoom if you're focused on anything like that, but mostly on the crits, fire rate if it's relevant to you, and now you gotta somehow also push in the status and the blast. Or you don't do the status and blast, you just stick to good old snipies, and every single headshot you hit also detonates in a 5-meter radius of the entirety of the damage, multiplied up multiple times over. Ka-boom! Seems to me, that's pretty effective. So yeah, any situation where the status that you want to have happen is hard to really invest into making happen, Lavos can just make it happen. And powerfully so. If anything, the better question is, what weapons don't benefit from it? And the weapons that really don't benefit is if Lavos would flood them out. So if you've got a weapon that delivers a nice rainbow of, say, 5 or 6 different elements, and you want to keep getting the rainbow, Velen's Formation is terrible. Because you go from having lovely spread rainbow to all one proc, and a little bit more up the top there that's trying to sneak through and it just can't. So that's where your trade-off starts to come in. Not a very common trade-off, because most of the time you still just obliterate. It works. Yeah. Andrew King saying, to be honest, trading at least did need a bit of a boost since the AI system came in. A lot of market prices are much lower. Prices have been coming down consistently. Year on year on year of Warframe, prices have been coming down. And I think that might simply be a symptom of an aging game. If I'm quite honest with you. Warframe has an influx of new players. However many new players, not my concern. I mean, probably is my concern, but not the numbers I deal with. I don't have access to that information. Now, if we assume a relatively steady flow of new players, and I know that's not a fair assumption, it's going to be all over the place, but if we assume year on year a relatively steady amount, maybe slightly rising, then year X, you got X new... year 1, you got X players. Just a whole bunch of new ones. Year 2, you've got 2X, and then 3X, and then 4X, and 5, and 6, and so on. But each year, you're only adding X. You're only adding that new cohort. That's your new set of people buying things. Meanwhile, all those years of players who've been with us now for 1, 2, 3, 13 years, they're all selling. You and I, we're selling, largely. Because we've already got the stuff. A new farm comes out, and we've just got the gear to go bam, 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 sell. So by and large, you'll get more people selling for any given product, any given item, but you won't get a lot more people buying. And unless Warframe suddenly starts doubling its population every period, that trend is going to continue. We will continue to have prices overall come down because people are still going to want to sell because they still want their platinum. They'll just be selling for less and less each time. I'm not sure how that can ever really be addressed other than to basically limit supply to create new things with very limited supply. And as you point out, that can include the Nightwave mods. They are very limited. As in one per account until it later rotates back in. Now, all of that rambling aside, Bubonico of the Coda variety. Couple levels into it already, but that's not really relevant right now. Unique trait, alternate fire to shoot bursts of 3 viral explosives. I'm fairly certain that is no change from Bubonico itself. No change. Okay, cool. Let's not talk about modding on the other Bubonico. Don't use it enough. So no change on the default there. What about on the stats? Let's have a quick ganders here, shall we? So, Coda down to normal. The Coda version has more fire rate, more magazine, slightly higher critical chance, slightly higher status. It's almost pointless to think about increasing status, but it's there. And the burst, again, higher fire rate, quite noticeably so, really. Higher magazine, because of course. Crit chance, slightly higher. Although, once again, candidate for Arcane Avenger right there. Status chance, only slightly higher. And radial... yeah, the damage isn't changing at all. Hold up. I mean, granted, yeah, we've got the valence bonus of 60%, so that is 60% more damage, but, like, the base damage isn't shifting at all. Curious, okay. Now, the fire rate increase, let's see, on the normal modes there, that base stats automatic, 8.53 divided by 6.13, what horrible numbers. That is, even that's not clean, 39.15% increase. Okay. So we're looking at about a 40% increase there. Let's just go 1.4, multiplied by the 1.6 you get from that. The crit's almost irrelevant increase, but it's still increasing the damage output by 124%. That's cool. I'm saying Coda also has a spool up mechanic. God. Okay, let's head to the sim. Let's have a look what's going on with that. Also, welcome in, Zom. Hope you're doing well today.
You are a true hunter. Where would the sanctuary be without you?
Hello there, Croston. Short video, custom server of Warframe update number 7. That doesn't sound very official or appropriate. I don't know any of the details around that, but usually custom servers for games like Warframe are a big bad no-no. Alright, let's go Sanctum. Why not? Okay, so... oh. Okay. That's a little odd. It completely despawns the moment I let go of left click. Oh, that's horrible. Okay. Damn, let me give it a moment to recharge. Also the recharge. Ew. Yeah, spam clicking doesn't get around it. Okay. Yeah, there is a little bit of recoil on it, isn't there? Use Lock and Load for recharge, use Arcane Crooks. Yeah, there's plenty of reasons to use various bits on that there. Something to get around. How does that compare to how the original fired? No change there. Now, granted, fire rate is modded, so let's compare unmodded. I said let's compare unmodded. But does this not have the... Oh. Oh? Who? Huh? What? I know worm reinforced bond is there, but I'm more like... I didn't realize this was going to be that quick right off the bat. Meanwhile, the Coda version is lagging that hard. The spool's that strong. Yeah, that initial firing at the start there, that is noticeably worse. Noticeably. Okay, you know what? I'm going to do a frame-by-frame comparison here because this is a little hard to follow intuitively. So let's just do a quick recording here. There we go. And now let's grab you and do the same. We should verify no modding at all, just to be absolutely certain on that. Yes, I've still got the fire rate bonus for my companion. Irrelevant, it affects them both the same, so it doesn't matter. Okie dokie. Let's just pause on that side of things there. Let me grab my video editing program. Let's do a proper, truly proper comparison here. A frame perfect comparison. Again, based on full fire rate, full values, we'll be looking at about 120% overall damage increase on the Coda variant, so it's going to be stronger pretty much in every way whatsoever, but we'll see what it all comes to. I don't expect there's going to be much of a revelation here, but it's more what are the actualities. So, let me grab those two recordings, you and you. And then let's put this up on screen for everyone to see. Right then. We don't need the audio at the bottom. Let's just get rid of that. In here, we're going to see the moment we go through the first bit of ammo on the Bubonico. There. So that is the last frame before we start firing. So go with that there. And then let's do the same on the other one. With the Coda, last frame before we start firing is there. There we go. Which means now I can move this one off to the side. So we got Coda on the left, normal Bubonico on the right. Should probably... Yeah, let's do that and then zoom them both in. Actually, undo that. Let's make their anchor point 960 minus 540 and then zoom them in. Aha! Alright then. We see the first shot is now fired at the same time for both of them because when you click you get your first shot. There is no pre-spool on the Coda Bubonico, it's just the follow-up shots are thrown into the spool. So from there, into our first shot, Bubonico goes from 27 to 17. Let's just go for 10 shots there. And in the time that it's taken it to get to its 10 shots fired, Coda Bubonico has also fired 10 shots. It got there slightly faster, actually. We see second shot on Bubonico goes out first, as expected. It's still one shot ahead. Was very, very briefly 2 shots ahead, but now it's still 1 ahead. 1. Yeah, it's hovering around that point there. But then here they're now even again. For a brief moment. And when does Coda Bubonico overtake it? We want... there. The first time the Coda Bubonico shows that it's got 1 additional shot fired. So this started on 26, it's fired 8 shots. This started on 25. No. 27. Started on 27, it's fired 9 shots. This started on 36, it's fired 10 shots. So for the first time, Coda Bubonico pulls ahead. That is at this point here. I'm just going to put a cut on it, so it's easy to come back to. And we see that is in 1 second, 28 frames. So 1.5 seconds of firing. After 1.5 seconds of firing, the Coda Bubonico has now finally pulled ahead in terms of fire rate. Interesting. Yeah, losing the entire spool up, if you let go of firing, even for a moment, is kind of wild. Like, I would expect the spool up to then spool down, or to just stay spooled up if you're aiming. But it's not acting like the kind of weapon that would spool up. That is a weird one. And then, let's see, so in first 1.5 seconds-ish, yeah, if we get to 1.5, so that is at 52. In exactly 1.5 seconds, they're dead equal. Just because of tick timing on individual shots. So it takes 1.5 seconds for them to be equal. If we then go to 3 seconds, that'll be at 40-22. So at 3 seconds of firing, Bubonico, which started on 27, has fired 19 shots, and this has fired 23 shots. That is 21% more shot in 3 seconds of firing. But that's backloaded. Interesting. And if you start putting fire rate modding onto that, it's going to get better, but this is already 60% fire rate buffed in both cases. So, take it with a grain of salt on that. That is certainly a design decision right there. To offer a substantial, nearly 40% bonus to fire rate, but then to not actually apply it all the time. To start off worse, in fact, is certainly a decision. Which one of these empties out its magazine first? The normal Bubonico empties first. By only 2 shots, granted. And the weapons have a 9-shot difference between them. But still. What weapon works good with Harrow except Dual Tox? What's the name of the... Nell Prime. Signature weapon, so... kind of very good for it. But also a lot of things work good with Harrow. Like, a lot of things work good with Harrow. But yeah, this is a little odd that despite all the fire bonuses, now granted, yeah, it's got 33% more ammo, 39% more fire rate, but because of the delay, the spool up, it ends up that little bit later. That's weird, yeah. So overall, it's still got the 60% damage buff. It's still got the stat buffs to the crits and status. As slight as they are there. As slight as they are. Remind myself how slight. 2 points of critical chance. 0.8% on the status. Even with all the multi-shot, it's still 0.8%. It's assuming those are not rounded figures, that is a 8.6% status uplift. 8.6% status uplift. Yikes. And that kind of status chance, that is not damaging status chance. Old Fire still ludicrous? Yeah, the Old Fire is still Old Fire. But the increase there, 61 from 57, is a 7% uplift. How much ammo does this fire with each burst? We're at 36. Down to 27, so it fires 9 ammo for its burst. And I think that was the same for the old. Yeah, so you get 1 extra burst. You do indeed get 1 extra burst on your Coda Bubonico. Interesting. Yeah, it's still a 7-meter range, 50% fall off. All those stats are unchanged whatsoever. In fact, because the crits barely moved, the status barely moved, the fire rate is pretty much irrelevant. Hold on, let's do again the same kind of recording process and compare fire rates. So that was spam clicking middle mouse button as fast as I could. You can see at the top right at the moment because I'm sharing screen as I'm seeing it rather than just the game. You're seeing the overlay there. But that was spam clicking alternate fire. Let's switch over to Bubonico. And do same again. Okey-dokey. Let's go back to video editor. Let's grab the 2 new recordings. There we go. So, once again, find the first frame, or sorry, last frame before ammo drops. That is there. Let's just unlink out the audio we don't need. There we go. And likewise on this one. Last frame before the ammo drops is there. And if we go like that, and alright, I was on the wrong end of the clip. That's where it went. There we go. Okay, so comparing these then, we've got, they both start the firing, we've got that synchronized. Coda does fire just slightly sooner there. 1 frame sooner. Same frame on the next shot. And a few frames sooner. Sure, go figure. And then the follow-up, yeah, it's about the same, about the same. Yeah, all that fire rate bonus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1/12 of a second sooner to have unleashed those first 3. Can I hold the alt fire instead of spam click? Of course, yeah, you can do that these days, can't you? Yeah, yeah. My bad. My bad. Old habits die hard, I guess. Regardless, that should be giving us the basis of it then. So the fire rate increase is basically immaterial. A 12th of a second faster to deliver those first 3 bursts. Yeah, and total time taken on that, we've got it. 3 bursts is ending there, so that is at 50:02 on this, from 48:51. So that is. Oh, was that to the end of that? Yeah. So 48:51 to that. That's 1 second, 13 frames. No, 1 second, 11 frames. My bad. 1 second, 11 frames. Divided by... it's 5 frames sooner, wasn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 frames sooner. No, 4 frames sooner. Yeah, there's where it drops down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. 15th of a second faster. That's even worse. So yeah, the total fire rate uplift there is 6%. As measured, we're getting 6% better fire rate. But if you ask the Arsenal, it would be trying to gaslight you into believing 40%. Because of the very nature of burst weaponry. Wow. That's, so it's a 6% fire rate boost, a 2-point crit chance boost, because I'm not even going to call that a 66% increase in crit chance. It's 2 points. No one cares. You're still going to just use Arcane Avenger if you ever want crits from it, or some other form of forced crits. The status has gone up by, what was it, like 8% or something like that. No change to the radius, no change to the damage sans valence bonus, no change to fall off, no change to crit damage, no change to reload. You get 1 extra burst, or you get some slightly skewed results on fire rate on the primary fire. Is the Arsenal showing the ramp up max for primary fire and not the fire rate as a whole? So that's a fair question. Let's see. If we go back to this real quickly, we had in here. If we go... Yeah, if we go for Coda Bubonico from 18, the moment it gets to 18 shots, which is there, conveniently, how long does it take to fire those 18 from here? There. So we go from 39.46 to 41.52. That is 2 seconds, 6 frames. 2 seconds, 6 frames. Divided by... yes, we do 18 divided by that. 18 divided by 2 seconds, 6 frames. That is a fire rate of 8.57 measured. Yeah, the the debuff there is because it's forgetting about Companion. Companion Arsenal combo is showing 8.53. 8.53, 8.57, basically the same. That's just variance within frames. Fractions of a second. So yeah, that is the fire rate fully spooled. Fuck. Okay. So if the fire rate's a bit of a scam, and most of the other stats are piddlingly little bitty bits here or there, it is basically entirely just the valence bonus. That's it? That's all you get? You get the valence bonus. Hold on, what's the, I mean, the Riven disposition on the normal Bubonico is already bad, so at least there's not a huge trade-off there, but wow, okay. What is the actual number? Because the wiki knows it, the game knows it, but the game refuses to let me know. Bubonico Riven disposition is 0.75, whereas on Coda it'll be 0.5 for now. So yeah. That's wild. Am I missing anything there? All y'all listen to me ramble off these numbers and variants and blah 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 blah. Am I missing anything, or is it basically just token stat buffs and lol get valence, shut up, nerd? I guess the only other thing would be if you're trying to mod in like all of the primed mods, then capacity can become a concern. Coda can get around that because you get 1/3 higher capacity. That's about all I can think of, really. And yeah, shotguns do have some very heavy mods. Ooh. Just combining that lot is huge on the drain costs. Oh, I have 3 ribbons. Huh. Man, there are weapons that would be great on. This is not one of them. This is not one of them. Yeah. As I'll say, it depends on high TDK too, yeah, which prefers good area for Bubonico, because multi-co. Okay, I've got to process all of that. Something that Zom is referencing depends on high time to kill too. Potentially. Not sure on the something there. Which is a good area for Bubonico, because multi-co. Now, when you say multi-co, where is the multi-co coming in that we're caring about? Is that the direct damage of the burst? Because that'll be this. Is this multi-code? Because, like, that's nothing compared to this damage. And this is radial, so that should be no-co. Anyone else just see a mushroom? No? Okay. And if you're meaning on this, on the auto fire, that shouldn't be right. The main damage of the primary fire is multiplicative to condition overload. Okay, testing time. We need you. And we need you. This is going to be a little bit difficult. Let's get to some butchers. Okay. No problems, please. Yeah, so at this close range, we're getting 126, 126, 126. Yeah, that's actually working quite nicely. I'm going to skip the crits for now, just the 126 standard hits. Cool. There we go. And now on you, with 4 status effects, we're on 327. 327 up from 126. 327 divided by 126 is roughly 260%. So that's a 160% increase. Our survey says multiplicative. Cool. Alright, that confirms that. Why is this multiplicative? Why? Because it's a projectile. Never mind. Why did I think this was hit scan? That's on me, I guess. That is actually a projectile. I knew this was a projectile. Also, wow, I did not realize just how heavy the fall off is on that. Just that didn't even reach the guy I'm aiming at. Oh wait, did it? Oh wait, no, sorry. Yeah, it is reaching him. Just about. He's just not really reacting to it, whereas that guy did. I get the sounds they were trying to go for on the Bubonico here. I'm not vibing with it. Hold on, let me just kill the music a moment. I mean, let's not aim at that guy for a moment, just so we can hear just the gun. I feel like all of that sound design is kind of lost on it's an automatic fire weapon. It was a nice try, but I feel like the sound guys have been a little bit done over there with the implementation. Dubstep gun? Not the mix I'd go for. Don't let it distract you from the fact we don't have arm cannon skins. I'll be quite honest, it doesn't take much to distract me from that. Arm cannon skins are not exactly my highest priority. I mean, come on, the only reason this isn't on its default colours is because I equipped it prior to stream, went, huh, someone will probably mention that it's on the default colours, and so I just copied Warframe colours. That's it. That's as far as I really care about this stuff. Until the start of this stream, it looked like that. That's how much I usually care for changing the appearances of weapons. It has my Tenet Galaxian, which I've used a fair amount. Even got any changes on it? I've changed the energy colour. A functional skin because we can see the effects. Yeah. So, I know it matters to many others. It's never been my focus. No. So overall, am I wrong to be disinclined to even level this one up? I know there is the bonus damage, the Valence bonus, so that's like 60% right there. I know that it's got the extra burst in it, so this can just go dung 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 for 33% longer. That reload time is not rapid. And is that affected by reload speed? Time it takes to refill a magazine from empty. Hard to say. So let's pop on you. Why is that not fully ranked? That wasn't twice as fast. Okay, no effect. It affects the delay, I imagine then. The delay on it starting to recharge, which it says is 1.5 seconds. So maybe.
Hey, how we doing? And oh boy, time flies.
Oh, indeed, does time fly. Sam Olsen, thank you very much for the 18 months, 1.5 years of support right there. Much appreciated. We're doing well enough. Have a look at the weapons and wondering how much we're supposed to get. Yeah, that is a long wait before it starts recharging itself. So there is a little bit, slightly, kind of, a bit of a choice on that, but damn. Oh hey, I have reload speed on this for 32%. Yeah, not gonna do Why did they make it spool up? Gonna cover Warframe Dev Stream on Friday? Yes, I will be co-streaming that one. I didn't co-stream the last one, but that's because they did it on a Saturday, how dare they? But this one, yes, I will be. Yeah, I cannot see why they decided to add a spool up to it. I can't even think of a lore justification. Musically, you'd want it to keep the beat. So if it had a spool before, you'd remove it and be like, oh, look at that, they've figured out how to keep time. Isn't that a great upgrade? But no, this has lost the beat. Which basically just sunders the fire rate it's supposed to have. The fire rate bonus on the alt fire functionally doesn't exist. It is entirely a magazine and valence bonus, and that's it. Magazine and valence. Guess just on vibes would be too strong for an already super good gun. I mean, why pick it then? If it was already good enough that it didn't need an upgrade, why pick it? Was there nothing else they could have chosen? Regulus having the exact same question as me, yeah. If they didn't want to upgrade the gun that much, then pick something else. Damn. Okay, well, that is already all she wrote for the Coda Bubonico. I guess let's level it a few times, just so I've got the formers on it ready to build it if I feel like building it, but that's going to be about the long and short of it, really. Just give it the upgrades it can have, and yeah. Were people clamoring for the upgrade? People always will clamor for upgrades for their favourite guns. Okay, so from Zom, what I was trying to say is that Small Up does bias it towards higher time to kill targets, which isn't that bad of a deal, since Multico already does kind of bias it for shit or burst. Single target or burst. Okay. Though ultimately, this still might be saved above all else by the mag, because the Bubbo got kind of screwed by battery changes, never really got put back fully. True. But yeah, the long and short of it really is that it's basically just the same gun with a valence bonus, 1/3 more magazine, which is not to be neglected, and some very token other buffs, but now you have a spool up, which is objectively worse when shooting at enemies that take a few shots to kill. Yeah. A lot of community was asking for it, kind of expected eventually. I mean, I've been asking for a Tenet Amprix. Instead we got a Tenet Quanta. Now, don't get me completely wrong, Tenet Quanta is indeed a beam weapon as well, so how sad could I be, you know? I was wanting a different Tenet beam than the Glaxion, and we got another Tenet beam. It's not the same. It's not the same. Not the same. It's just not the same. Okay, so. As I'm saying, skip mag stray from a full right fire rate bar, use mag progenitor. You are using that for the fire rate bonus. Yeah, fair enough. I see it. I see it. Telequant was unfortunate. Yeah. I get that it's a really funky gun, but I also don't see any improvement on that funk. I know that a lot of the adversary weapons aren't really that much of a change to them. They are basically just the better versions. But there are some that do get some substantial alterations. You know, when I grab the Vapor Heck here, and no alt fire. It's just shotty go shot. But then I grab the Heck, as in Kuva variant, and instead of just going bam, 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 as I may wish to, I can also go wablam! Unique feature. And that's a very simple unique feature, but it is a unique feature. Allowed us to one-shot Archons back in the day. Meanwhile, Tentaglaxion, it gained chaining. So it went from single target cold beam with the Vandal version had a weird AoE around it. Actually, I think it might be both Glaxions, can't remember. To now chaining Glaxion. Yay, good. New stuff. Bubonico got shafted. It got shafted. As did the Kuva Ghoulsaw, to be quite honest. More stats, don't get me wrong. Yep, more stats, but it's still the Ghoulsaw. So yeah. Let's get you leveled. Now, can I level this quickly using the Eidolon method? Let's find out. You onto there, and you onto there. What's with this double dash polarity? What other dash polarity do we want on here? I mean, I guess. Let's, no. I'm, you know what? I'm tempted to swap the polarity off of the Exilus there. I can make this silent for nearly free and get the V polarity instead. Although I don't think I can swap those yet, can I? Nope, not allowed to just yet. Wow. Okay. Alright. Go with you. Why not? That can get off there. We don't need that anymore. Was just for the sake of... Oh, balls to it. Wait. Ah! Can get my crit damage. Just about. The bad version, but still just about. Okay. Yeah, giving a Bubonico with better recharge wouldn't have been too problematic. But again, I'd just like it to have been something substantial. You know, someone gave bits of how weirdly consistent you are making that pop. It's a bit of a tick, almost at this point. I do just... But that came from a very old coping strat. Yeah, I have a lot of practice in that. Oh, well, there we go. It's never perfect, but it is there. Alright, let's go for Deadhead right now, because of the way we're going to be leveling this. Let's roll ourselves over here. And we head over to the plains. Simple as that. Oh, wait, before we go, Worm, you are not the job here. Evie, come on in.
Did someone say pop?
Yo! Esprit, thank you very much for the 2,500 bits there. Much appreciated. Doubling up on the day here, bring us to a total of 5,000 from yours too. Much appreciated.
And now, a massive sentient energy spike in your area.
No, it was a massive bit spike in the area. Bit spike. They're not sentient, they're just bits. Alright. For a moment there, I thought I was doing it wrong. I just need the highlighting on. Yo! Thank you very much there, Alia. Okay, does this work at this long range? I can barely see in the first place, but... This might not be appropriate for this method. Hey, I eventually hit something. Yeah, this is not the way to level it. That's not gonna work. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, let's go level somewhere else then. Leavy Eaters. Yeah, I've turned my nose up at ESO earlier. Let's do it now. Why not? Let's just see who is in the public lobby today. And are they going to carry me? A carry would be appreciated. Let's see what we got. Oh. Positive sound. Go buff. You can tell I've switched from my fiery companion to my affinity companion, can't you? Ugh. And the affinity companion has decided not to trigger. Thanks, Evie. Glad I don't pay that cat. The arc on this and the slow projectile speed. Ooh. This is a strong candidate for that Gavlo's model, which means I might not want to move the V polarity after all, because I think Gavlo's acceleration is an Exilus V polarity, isn't it? No, Smeater does not have enough shields by default to trigger reinforced. That is not an option. How are we doing? So far to go. So very far to go. Hold up. Okay, I'm not top killer, but like, I am looking at these enemies for a very long time here. We haven't got exactly a kill squad, have we? Is everyone trying to level stuff up? Oh. Well, there we are then. Fair enough. This is not the squad to do it. We're going to dip out on this run. This is... Hey! Lato Vandal Blueprint! Aren't those like super duper rare guys? Wow, I just made like 5 million platinum. I am not mad about that change at all. That's a really good change. It was absurd how hard it was to farm for those before. I actually realised when making the video about the changes to the Vandal weapons here that I never got the Bratton Vandal. Every time I'd gone to do stuff for Mastery, I'd looked at the price and went, yeah, nah. And I never ended up farming one. So, massive, massive change. More than overdue. Now, you know what's interesting? In talking about the whole Vandal changes, what's interesting to me is the number of people who said it was a bad change on account of the bragging rights of having earned it. Of putting in the effort and getting it. And I gotta say, first of all, get something better to brag about. Honestly. What even? But second, it's not even bragging rights. There's no bragging rights to it. It's a random drop rate. You could have got it first time around. No one would know. Or in the case of the Bratton, you'd need at least 2 hits at rotation C, but who cares? What bragging rights are those? Congratulations, a random drop happened. On a game mode that is readily farmed by almost everyone, it's that accessible. What? And yeah, bragging rights for achievements, cosmetics, sure, why not? Go hunt your look at me, I did this thing brag. Whether it's soloing the guilty, or taking on the various hard mode bosses with the specific frames, or collecting every curia, whatever you want to get up to, whatever you want to be happy about, sure. But to go, no, they shouldn't make this mid-tier weapon more accessible. I want my bragging rights for having spent an average of 31 or more hours just getting a couple mid-tier weapons. How dare other people have an easier time, not the easiest, but an easier time accessing that. Just because you suffer doesn't mean other people have to. That's it. These kinds of comments, they're not even coming from people who are going, I suffered, others should suffer. They're going, hold up, it was an achievement to get that. It's like, no, it's not an achievement. It's not an achievement. Achievement will be getting to round 40. That would be an achievement. Going to round 8 and getting a drop. Well done, congratulations. You got a thing. When the drop rate used to be about equal to getting gold on an intact relic. Do people really consider it bragging rights to get gold out of an intact relic? Do people look at the upgrading of relics and go, no! Don't upgrade relics! We're supposed to be bragging about the Exceltra Prime stock! Rawr! Fuck off! Quite frankly. And in case anyone is even slightly unclear on that, I don't mean fuck off a little bit. I mean, go and put yourself on a different planet. Get out of here. Walk into space and keep breathing. Gatekeeping bullshit. So yeah, it's a great change. I am happy to see that drop rates on various arduous things have been made better. In some cases doubled, tripled, some even wilder still. And if anything, it just points out how ridiculous it was before. If I can quickly grab the spreadsheet of Vandal farming, it's not going to link it. Well, I can see the title from my YouTube shorts. Up to 5 times faster. So, just in itself, 5 times faster. The fact that D found it within themselves to make it that much faster should tell you already just how ridiculous it was. As I load this up, nope, still got the horrid fire rate. Oh, thank you, whoever just grouped those right at the perfect time. Oh, did you see that? We'll take that every day of the week. Yeah, let's see. Vandal farming time spreadsheet. So the 50% mark to get both Vandal weapons fully farmed on your own, so that is not trading with other players whatsoever. The 50% mark is still 7 hours. 7 hours. I want you to really think about that for a moment. I want you to really think about what 7 hours of your life really is. I want you to think about the number of movies that you could watch in that time, the number of series you could binge in that time. I want you to think about the amount of creative activities you could get up to, the amount of exercising you could do. I want you to think about the guides you could watch, the things you could learn, the amount of times you could call your mother and let her know what you feel about her today. Or you can spend those 7 hours here in Elite Sanctuary Onslaught getting 2 mid-tier weapons. And when I say mid-tier, you know, one of them is the best later you can get hold of because Founders is inaccessible without time travel, and time travel is not allowed in this universe, thank you very much. 7 hours. 7 hours is the new farm. The farm that people were calling bragging rights was a 50% rate at 31 hours.
Target neutralized.
31 hours? For 2 guns? Oh, but Kenjineer, you could do other things at the same time. You could level your weapons. You could get your radiant relics. Isn't it brilliant? We should feel blessed that we could get these other opportunities at the same time. Ew. I'm not GGing. I've got more to go, so I'm just going to keep playing. Hello there, Kakira. Welcome on in. You'd rather spend 7 hours doing menial grinds or only an exercise in patience? And don't get me wrong, yeah, gameplay, fun, huzzah, playing games. That's what we're here for, you know? Oh, what the fuck is happening to my life? Yep, that happened. Okay. That'll do. As I was saying, yeah. I don't even know what I was. That just really threw me off there. Yeah, it's... We're all playing Warframe because we want to play Warframe. But Warframe is a combination looter-shooter. We're not just here for the shoot. We are definitely also here for the loot. And so we want a good rate of loot. We want loot that feels like it's paying attention to us, that's giving us its fair returns. We are mercenary in our shoot. 31 hours was not it. Did something give me a... Ah, we have a Wispy. Oh, thank you. Fire rate buff. Fire rate buff, go burr. Are the weapons even good for the new 7-hour grind? No. The Later Vandal is the best Later you can get for the Incarnate, so it's what you got. The Bratton, you can just get the Prime. And the Prime is beyond easy to get. So... yeah. Is there a way to buff the Bubonico's recharge rate? Nope, only the recharge delay. Recharge rate is not something you can meddle with. So almost down, where are they? Oh, wait, there's no one called that, that was their pet. Never mind. Also, I've just realised, I haven't formed this yet, so rank 30 was the max, I'd already maxed it. Oops. Oh well. How's Later compared to other Ricochet secondary incarnates? No idea, sorry. No idea. My turn to say GG because I am host. Let them know I am leaving. I don't know if it's just me, but it doesn't even feel that satisfying as a carpet bomb. The curve and projectile speed? What weapon is this? Coda Bubonico. Which I am still leveling up to really appreciate, but...
Hunter, the sanctuary will go on without you.
But yeah, when it comes to the Vandals, honestly, if you want to try them out, you go to Warframe Market, Warframe.market. You type in either Leto or Bratton Vandal to get the set. And Leto Vandal set, I can pick up a set right now for 35 platinum. Or otherwise 40. One person selling for 35. For the Bratton set... oops, wrong set. Bratton Vandal set, not Bratton Prime. Bratton Vandal set, bunch of people selling it for 50. So for a total of about 90 platinum, you can have both of them. Which may well be preferable to farming potentially hours of ESO. The 5% acquisition rate of just farming it flat yourself is just over 3 hours of ESO. For a 5% chance of a set. 5 hours is 25%, 7 hours is 50%. And Unlucky exists to go further and further still because it is unmitigated RNG. Let me see, if I shifty the graphs out the way... The 24-hour mark for my simulations was at 99.78%. So you would need to be in the, what, 1 in 500? Yeah, about 1 in 500 players. Will need more than 24 hours of ESO to get a full set without trading. Ouch. Yeah. Can you copy the build? The build for the Bubonico? Not yet. It's not finished. If you copy this right now, you're doing it wrong, because... No. Either wait for the video, or grab a video from someone else who's already covered it. This is an in-progress thing. With that in progress... Let's see, Gemini's acceleration is a 12, so if I put a V polarity there, I can also put in the acceleration now. So let's do that. There we go. Now that's going to give me a maximum of a 90% projectile speed increase. So the projectiles off of this should be a hell of a lot better. Also, we can get rid of the dead head. That is no longer the way. Now, Merciless plus 30% reload speed is actually a 0.3 second reduction in reload delay. The actual reload time, not much better. Which means there is the consideration of going primary crux, like someone said, to instead get the ammo efficiency and just fire less ammo. Now, it does require weak point hits, but honestly, I'm not against the idea. Let's give it a try. What is the worst that can happen with it? In terms of a dash polarity for that remaining 5 right now, I don't think I really have anything. Prime charge shell is already there. Don't really need that. Don't need that. Don't want that. I mean, I guess. It does almost nothing, but it's more than nil. Yeah, we'll do that for now. Does alt-fire AoE trigger primary crux if it hits the head? Which is difficult to achieve, but theoretically... Throw ourselves in there again and see what happens with it. Does Simset work with battery weapons? I want to say no, but then I think it was working with the Encaus, which is kind of... Well, the Encaus isn't battery, but it isn't not battery. I think the Simset doesn't work on true battery weapons. I think the Encaus is the exception, not the rule. Alright, let's see. So, can I trigger the effect here? Let's see. I don't see it so far triggered. No, it doesn't look like I'm triggering it so far, so AoE is being a bit inconsistent on that. So now I need to aim ahead. That gave me 2 stacks. It's only going to last for 10 seconds. Ooh, yikes. There we are, 10 stacks. Now I can do this. Until it runs out. Oh. And Kitty gave me an instant reload. The 10 seconds is gone. Okay, that gave me 1 stack because he insta-died. That's unfortunate. Starting to think that might not be a way to utilize this. Yeah, my fire rate is terrible at the moment because I've modded inappropriately. Still formering, but... Getting those first weak point hits. I got a couple there from the direct hit, but it looks like the AoE doesn't want to trigger it? Yeah, that kind of sucks. re-up buffs for everyone and everything. I've completely lost my ammo efficiency buff again. Yeah. Let's grab this. Try and just get efficiency on this mode. I mean, I can't complain. I want someone who's killing well. It's just, okay. Let's head through and try again. Alright. Gently does it. So we got the full buff. Ah. Okay. That's fine. 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 Fine. Hey. So let's start rebuilding the buff again. Nope. Nope. I'm on 3 stacks. From all of those, I got 3. 4 stacks. 5. Oh boy. I don't want the timer to run out. 7. 8. Nearly there. Right, full 10 stacks. There we go. The wiggliness of it right in my face and quite uncomfortable to fire. This is me aiming, by the way, so I'm trying to scope in, as it were. And recharge. So I was watching the timer run out on the buff. I don't want to let go of the fire because then I lose my fire rate. Like that. This is... Oh, and I was a little too late on firing that, so I've lost all of the ammo efficiency bonus. Sod it. Ammo efficiency over. I concede on that. Let's dip out of here and rethink the modding. Because this is not it. What's the fall off looking like on this in a moment? That's better. A little easier to aim now. Yeah, I just...
Hunter, the sanctuary will go on without you.
So, I should have the video for tomorrow finished right away, which is the end cows. Should be the operative word there. We'll get that up and live. I don't think I'm going to do a long-form video on these weapons. I'll be quite honest with you. It doesn't feel like they really deserve one. Let's see. Fire rate options are... not leaning into the polarities I have available to me. Let's... yeah, the crits... If we go for the radiant attack more, we don't really need to worry about crits. At least not crit chance modding. So we could drop that, and then use that to bring in, let's see, this one will work best. Because yeah, it takes a little bit off of that. That's absolutely fine for the fire rate. As I say, surprise the paint gun does. So the paint gun does more to call out what's weird about beams and multi-shots, but also the paint gun to just kind of place where it is, considering the paint gun, you can access it a lot sooner than you can these other three. Fighting a Lich for a Ghoulsaw, fighting Sistra Parvos for the Quanta, fighting the Coda for the Bubonico is a hell of a lot later into the game than just accessing Folly's Hunt. And it's a signature weapon, and it's brand new, whereas these are rehashes of existing weapons. Boy, howdy, is this basically just a rehash. So on that basis, it's a unique, new, has gimmicks, and is more relevant to the tier you can get it at. That's why it gets a video. Even if nothing else, is to call out on the end counts things that don't work as well. Because there was a fair amount of testing we did on stream to try and appreciate all of that. Like, for example, the on the final hit, what damage type does it do? What proc does it do? Is there some way we could utilize that? And the answer is corrosive, corrosive, and no. Yeah, just... yeah. Also, it's not mentioned about an augment in Nightwave at the moment.
Oh yeah, I don't have a line.
Those are for weapons we're talking about at the moment. There's something I'm missing over here. Not sure what we're on that. Yeah. Good chance to talk about beams being weird again? Exactly, yeah. And full disclosure, I am intending to basically take that weird section about beams and also cut it into its own short. I'm trying to do that content creator thing of multi-layered content, yeah? For the same reason, I have also started posting over to TikTok. I know I've said in the past that I wouldn't. I have changed my mind on that matter. So I am popping the existing recent shorts over to there. Just getting that started on that side. My current plan on that side of things, though, is that I can also use it as where clips from this stream can go. So if you have a brilliant moment you think that would make for a great clip, you see that happen on stream, definitely hit that clip button, because I do see all the clips people make. Even if you don't share the links, I see the clips you hit save on. And so if you save it with a nice vertical format as well, I look at it and go, you know what, that was a great moment. Yeah, it'll probably end up on TikTok. I'm not going to do the same with YouTube Shorts, so that's not going to be picking up the haha moment stream clips in the same way. To distinguish between the two sets, YouTube channel is still YouTube channel, much more guide focused, whereas that'll be more all of the clips, wider scope. Give a bit of variety out there. See how it goes out for all y'all. I don't know if the Kuva will make its way over that clip, but jury's out on that one. I'm thinking about it. Thinking about it. Oh, Hema Augment. Oh, okay, different weapon. Okay, okay. Oh, nope, that wasn't even this. That was the last one. I thought I missed something like that. Okay. Got me all messed up there, Moon. Anyway. Well, that was a nice bundle of explosioninos, yeah. And once the fire starts going on that, it does feel pretty nifty. I have massively upped my fire rate here. Still not my final form. Man, do you feel that spool up? I've buffed the fire rate, and it feels like it's getting worse. Yeah. I really want to know what the design decision was behind adding a spool up to this. I really want to know. If someone at DE happens to come across this, just, you know, quick DM. We've got an NDA about certain things. We can continue an NDA about this as well. You don't want me to talk about it. I just want to know, alright? I will happily sacrifice talking about it just to sate my curiosity. What was necessary here? Mag doing mag things. I knew that was going to happen, but... Oh well, it is what it is. Am I maxed? Nope, not maxed. But I got a lure balcony scene. Yay! Buff. And obliterate with all of the power of the Bubonico.
You, however, do not enjoy the protections of synthesis. For you, failure has real-life consequences.
I always find that line so ironic. For you, it has real-life consequences. Says the video game character. It's a silly little thing, but it just really stands out to me. It's like, you know, when recording that, they had to have a couple takes of that, because the first time around, how could you not chuckle at it? Brother, I joked it kill you. Yeah, you fuck up in ESO, Samaras just manifests in your room, that's it. Samaras is actually just a mirror demon. He adds you to the sanctuary so he can study how much you fucked up. Or maybe he just sends you a really angry letter. Oh, sorry, modern era. Maybe he just rants about you on Twitter and Blue Sky, tries to get you cancelled. That's what happens. Like, you mess up in ESO, and Samaras will just start spam calling your boss at work, trying to get you fired. That's what Samaras does. He's that much of a toxic individual, he will just spam call your boss. This is why he hates Cephalon Suda so much, because she doesn't make music to make money. She's just in it for the love of the game. He can't cancel that. He can't just turn off her love of music. Samaras is a scam call center owner? Oh, you know it. Here we are thinking he's simulating all these fights. He's also simulating 1,000 different robocallers. Man's got absolutely no shame. They forgot to include that in the Cephalon process. Damn, only rank 31. Come on. Don't make me go through another round of this. Come on. Spawn some enemies. You know you wanna. Come on. Okay. Fun little stinger on the way out. Sure, why not? Would he send falsified eviction notices to our home? So on that note, I had a bit of a heart attack just the other day. I had a bit of a heart attack. An unexpected email from my landlord regarding your current tenancy. Due to the ongoing changes brought about by the government, yada yada, opened up the email, and that's about all that I could see in the preview line. I'm just like, the rules are like 2 weeks away from changing. The rules are 2 weeks away from improving for renters. Don't you fucking dare do this now, landlord. I've got settled in here. I have this office how I like it. Don't make me move. Because of the changes incoming, we decided it's a little bit too much work. So instead we're hiring a management agency. I'm like, oh, thank fuck. Okay. It's still bad news, because management agencies suck. They just do. And unfortunately, the one my landlord has gone with, we know them. We know they suck. But I'm not being evicted. But for that brief moment, I was thinking, don't make me move again, please. Ah! But yeah. Now, the slightly more good news on that is that switching over to whoever is managing the property doesn't change the tenancy agreement itself. And the time it's going to take them to turn that around, the new law is going to have kicked in by then, and so I'm going to have that extra security. There we are. They have to give you 2 months' notice if they're evicting you. I will have to double check on that. I know that what's coming in here in the UK is that they basically can no longer just go, we want you out now. Here's your notice. They would have to have a legitimate reason for eviction. Those reasons could be not paying the rent, being a constant antisocial nuisance to neighbours, or they're selling the house. Now, so long as we don't get to the point of my landlord deciding to sell the house, we're Gucci. In 2 weeks' time. Because we're not going to get antisocial behaviour orders or anything like that against us, if those even still exist, but we're not going to be that kind of problem. And miss rent. No, thank you. No intention of doing that. I'm going to continue to be supported by you lovely, wonderful people, and my rent will never, ever be a problem. Isn't that right? So yeah. But damn, did that ever give me a heart attack seeing that subject line and preview from Landlord. Like... oh dear. Also, I don't think the landlord has yet sent over the documentation they legally required to with the changes coming in. That might be part of them handing it over to the management agency of, oh, there's hoops to jump through. We've got to work for our money. Someone else do it. Yay. Right, where can I get this last half a level nice and quick? You know what? I've got it. I know where I can get this level nice and quick. You've been evicted twice for renting as landlord wanted to sell? I mean, yeah. If the landlord's going to sell the property, they can evict you for that, unfortunately. Even with the new changes.
Your mission is to break into enemy data vaults and steal any intelligence files you find.
Well, that just shredded through them, didn't it? See, at this level, it feels great. I can't remember if I muted the weapon. Oh, no, I see you going away from me. Nope, 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 nope. You do not get to set alarms. Oh, shit, he's on the turret. Nope, no alarms from you either. We're going to do this as quietly as we can. And by quietly, I mean I'm shooting every guy I see. Quiet. Undetected. Well, that killed one guy. And another. So far, so good on the alarms. And that leads into... oh, I missed it. Leads into this. Leads into that. Leads into hop, hop, hop. And because I've got the hacking invis, it is super, super easy to just slide in here and no one is any the wiser. Ta-da! From Moon. Well, last time we signed a contract is formality. Decided to tell me, I hope you go on by the end of next year. Tell reminder to that. Oh, she's already bound to me by previous contract for the next 6 years. 6-year contract? Fucking hell. Alright, that's one hell of a renter's contract right there. Woo! 6 years. Oh, you see, Brother Oni, you say you'd think landlords would want to keep tenants sweet. Most tenants, as it turns out, actually want their deposit back, and a Pyrrhic victory of doing more damage than deposit can cover doesn't really work because you can still be sued for the rest of it. So basically you have to have nothing to lose, literally no money left and no care for the deposit, no care for the criminal charges that'll be placed. You have to really not give the slightest shit to want to act upon that side. The vast majority of people, it turns out, don't want to go down that road. It is just really what it is. Now, I'm starting to think maybe I should have used a sneakier way of running this mission. Just maybe. I say as even my melee has sound. No! Something finally sets off the alarm. No. Oh, I'd done so well to avoid it up to this point. I had been doing so well. Oh well. It is what it is. Let's just get this done. I don't have the means to teleport. Sneaky, 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 sneaky. Don't know how the gun got through that, but okay. And then I need to drop down here. And there we go. You've probably seen too many of those daytime TV shows. Yeah, remember, some of them are fake, and some of them are dealing with the absolute worst parts of humanity they could find, because it sells ratings on shows. People don't want to see boring or amicable shows. They want to see... Huh, that's... Okay, well, that's... Alright. Yeah. They want to see wild stuff. Oh, didn't even notice that guy there. Huh. I'll sod the stealth. How's the gun doing anyway? Strength 32. It's there. We're good. I just needed the one level on it. I just thought I'd do it differently with a spy mission. Let's just sneak through these. They have no idea I'm here. Hop over that. All of that in a single invis cycle from the Parazon. Beautiful. There we are. What is stealth? Landlord's not the best, but she's mostly non-malicious. Yep. I mean, my landlord, for all of her comments of deciding to not wanting to be the property manager anymore, which fair enough, my landlord hasn't really been an issue. They've been a bit slow to act on things, and unfortunately that slow to act on things has cost them money, not me. The works that were necessary in the bathroom as a result of the previous workman's job before we moved in, obviously being subpar. That's not going to have been cheap. But that's why we pay what we pay in rent. So she can pay to get things fixed. But yeah. I am concerned that the new property management, which will be through a letting agency, that they are going to do everything they can to minimize the expenses and pocket as much money as they can from just being property managers. We'll see how that goes. I do not have high hopes. certainly based on how this agency has acted before now as an agency, let alone as a property management company. Yeah. Not to get into too much detail on the legality side of things, Ellie, but what you're saying there is actually pretty common about how landlords already doing a lot of what's coming into law. And that's because the law isn't supposed to change in a way that really affects typical decent landlords. It's supposed to restrict those who are shitheads. It's supposed to give renters more protections against the ridiculous side of renting. It's going to be different in various countries as to how it works. So to give people a quick rundown as to one of the biggest changes I've seen since I got into being an adult and even caring about rents. When I first got into living for myself or living on my own, looking to rent a property, we would have to not only put down the deposit for the property, but also pay the letting agency's fees, and the fees varied wildly. For two properties of the same rent in the same area, they were under two different agencies where I was looking at that time. One of them was charging the equivalent of about 60% of the rent, of 1 month's rent that is, as just a fee for applying. The other one had a list of fees, and when added up, it came to, I think it was just over 1.5 months' rent in fees. You don't get anything for those fees. You don't get it towards your rent or deposit or anything. It was just them slapping on fees that they could put onto the tenants. Many years ago now, I say many, some number of years ago now, that got outlawed here in the UK. Can't just slap tenants with fees, absolutely not. We pay the rent. If there's any fees that are to be charged by the letting agency, they charge that to the landlord. That comes out of their income. It's a business expense, not a pass it further down the road, as it were. Especially because the fees were kind of all over the place, not properly declared, and completely unjustified in places. It was insane. Hello there, June. But various other changes since then have also come in, or are in the process of coming in. We've got a whole new bill that's been signed, it's all done, whatnot, government side. It literally goes into force, about 2 weeks' time. And yeah, as Ellie's saying, some specifics like once a year rent increase maximum. Not they have to, just that's the most frequently they can do it. Minimum 2 months notice, yeah. And yeah, if your landlord offers you even better terms than that, then that's just someone who's being a nice business person who realizes they don't need to just be a dick about everything. Yeah, it's weird when you come across something where you go, oh wait, we could just do good business. Wow, this is nice. No adversarial nature to it. Happy days. But yeah, the bar is low. The bar is low. Right, I think it's about time that we do a platinum giveaway. Let's kill the out-of-game music. Let's load up the giveaway arena. There it is. I keep forgetting I changed the icon on it and what it looks like now. SB asking, want some grub? Should I grab Taco Bell, pizza, or Burger King? Pizza. Go for a good pizza. Right, let's get this set up. Let's do a simple little 75 plat giveaway. Get my camera out of the way. Let's open up the draw there. You got 2 minutes to get in on that. Exclamation mark, enter in the chat for a chance to win the 75 plat. Any one of you could be our winner today. What? The bot's not listening. Okay. Why is that not working? Oh. Got it. I turned off the enter command at the end of stream on Sunday, so the rune a bit worked correctly. The bot was working fine. I did not. Let's try that again. Go! There it is. Okay, yeah. Nothing was broken. It was working exactly as intended. I just forgot my own intentions. Wonderful. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Alright then, exclamation mark enter in the chat for a chance to win the 75 plat. It gets handed out by DE once every couple of weeks. It'll go straight to your Warframe inbox, all the usual crucial bits and pieces there. Yes, it's lovely, all the regulars know it. And if you're not a regular, if this is your first time here, welcome on in. Exclamation mark enter in the chat is all you need to do, just like oh so many others here are doing. You'll see your name sliding on screen. And if you picked an avatar, you'll see your name slide in with said avatar. We've got such a variety of them here today. So many non-levels. It's wonderful to see. Actually, waited to lose, so you could be 3 years dry. I mean, Esprit, are you entering into every giveaway? Are you in them all? I know you're not. So, I mean, you know. You gotta be in it to win it. Once you change your avatar, I can't remember how. So you change your avatar with exclamation mark pick frame and the name of the avatar you wish to switch to. For a full list of avatars, exclamation mark avatar. Exclamation mark pick frame to switch, exclamation mark avatar to see the list. What's the giveaway? 75 platinum. Now, in order to switch your avatar, your skin for this giveaway arena, you do need to be a VIP or subscriber. If you are neither of those, then, well, you know what to do to fix that. Otherwise, it is still cosmetic. You still get to have the best frame as your default, which is Lavos, of course. Sorry, you can't switch to the frame Mess. Mess is in fact not a frame. There we are. You got it, you got it. Alright, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's do the draw. Alright then. Many of you enter, only one shall leave with that 75 platinum. Who is it going to be today? Who is going to claim that lovely little prize straight from DE? As Andrew drops a bunch of gifted subs in here to the community as well. Thank you very much, Andrew, for making sure there are 5 more winners in a different way. Our winner today, though, is Eliu.
Excellent work, Tenno.
Eliu with
Point is up ahead.
the belly shot, as it were. Eliu, GG's on that. We got your details on a record. That's going to go right on over to you there. And again, Andrew, thank you very much for the gifted subs. Out to Daku Veskard, to Cripple, to I'm in your base, to Orothi, and to Bronze Loser, who has become a winner. So, you know, they probably need to update their username now. That's how that works. Yep. Thank you very much for the gifted subs there, and congratulations, Eliu. You can look forward to that in your inbox within the next couple of weeks there. No further action needed from you. But with that, everyone, we've had a look at the Kuva Ghoulsaw words. The Kuva Ghoulsaw. I do struggle with that name, don't I? The Kuva Ghoulsaw. The Kuva Goose, yes. The Kuva Goose has demonstrated that it is still the same old squawk with a little bit extra waddle. Nothing particularly interesting, I'll be quite honest with you there. It's stat buffed, it's fun enough to play, but it's another melee weapon you put melee influence onto, and the stance for riding around on it still sucks. Cat Centaur, oh, no. That's a 1. Mods, 30 seconds. They fumbled, get them out of here.
I come in at the end.
You did indeed, Cal Jade, of the 9 variety. Thank you very much for dropping your sub here. Once again, they're up onto 21 months. Much appreciated. And I hope you have yourselves a wonderful day here. Oh, we've done it again. We've done it again. We've done it again. We're at the end of a stream and you guys kick off a hype train. We're already 33 minutes over normal stream time. You lucky lot. But no, them's the rules.
Oh, here, hype train.
Yeah, there is indeed a hype train. Esprit, thank you very much for the 500 bits as well. I'm not allowed to leave the stream until hype train goes. That's the rule we have here. It's not strictly a law, but, well, as we've already discussed here today, good business does not require you to do only what the law requires. You're sorry? Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry for subscribing. No. But it means we do have to stick around and ramble some more. As I was saying with regards to the Kuva Ghoulsaw, it's stat buffed, but it's no more interesting. No new gimmick, no new fun on any of that. LJ, thank you very much for the 100 bits. Excuse me. And then when it comes to, what's it called? The Bubonico. somehow they managed to both buff it and nerf it at the same time. I'm impressed. Not in a good way, but I am impressed. They managed to look at the gun. They went ahead with their upgrade. They chose that one specifically, went ahead and upgraded it. Gave it a fake fire rate increase, an unnecessary spool up, and some token additional stats otherwise elsewhere. I just... it's not what you'd expect or want, really. Not what you'd expect or want on that one. Yeah. I wonder if there's the dice rolls and subs that ended up kicking off the hype train. I mean, considering we did just have a combo of gifted subs and a resubscription there, that does tend to push it up a bit. But given that was 2 activities, yeah, fairly certain the chat spam was the third there. Absolutely. Centaur, you just fumbled rolling the dice so hard you didn't even roll it. What? Espery, thank you very much for the 5 gifted subs out to community as well. That's gone out to Biswartz, to Limeg, to Django, to Funzy, and to the Buck of Many Things. Much appreciated there. Cheers. Cheers indeed on that. Bump is in fact not a command. Fairly certain we have no reason to have a bump command. What would that even do here? Not leaving the stream? Apparently not, no. Each time the hype train levels up, the timer resets on it. So, a number of activities, not enough, but we're on to a new level, so the timer did indeed reset back to 5 minutes on it. Oh, and that's another round of gifted subs there. Thank you very much there, Cal Jade, for the, what's that, 5 gifted subs out to community. That's going out to Atlas Moth, to Nethlarian, to Can, I guess, to Hive Historian Phoenix, and to Chillbrick, as opposed to those really angry bricks. Much appreciated there, Cal Jade. Thank you very much there. And that has put us through another level. Reset the timer again. Welcome back, Sea Rabbits. Hope you're doing well. Wait for the last 30 seconds. That's me now, Sue. That's me. No, we don't need to be like that. Does the vanish command unmod you? There's a vanish command? I am not familiar with a vanish command. Oh, did you manage to... You finally rolled again and rolled a d20, did you, Centaur? Yeah, there we go. You rolled a 1... You rolled a null and you rolled a 20. What a day it is for you, eh? What a day. Is there a formal list of commands describing their respective actions? I believe !commands has all of the commands. Problem is, it's all of the commands. You'll find a lot of them there. Like, a lot. Yeah. Alright, fair do, Sea Rabbits. You go ahead and you get up to what you need to get sorted. Very much appreciated. So what do we time them out for? What do you do for 20? If you get a nat 20, you celebrate that they got a nat 20. You go, hey, isn't that nice? Or apparently we can time them out again. Who did that one? Who did that? Let's see, have a look here. Let's see if he sees. Oh, wait, are people just hitting... Oh! Oh, right, I see. That was the vanish command. I see. Now I understand. The vanish command... It's a self-vanish. Got it. Also, Elliot, thank you very much for gifted sub over to Zomtronic there. Much appreciated. Let's swap this over to... Yeah, let's take a worm. Worm's always been good to me. Seems we got ourselves a bit of a train going. I might as well crack a run. Yeah? Let's see if we get something nice, shall we? I'm not going to do this on a group. I'm going to just speed through it myself. Is there a capture I can speed through? Not here. Switch back. Is there a cap? There we go. We got some these radiant relics. You never know. Do we get something good? The 1999 command doesn't need to exist anymore. Hold up. 1999. You know what? We could just leave that there. That's funny.
You are here to
Why
find
not?
your
Let's just
target
leave some
and bring them to
sponsored
the extraction point.
commands in the command list. Why not? Who doesn't love a little bit of post-sponsor? You rolled a 1. Esprit, I instruct... Wait, hang on. So, you see, I can't time out a moderator because then you lose moderator status.
Your original objective.
So,
Leave nothing alive.
Esprit, I will just be a problem on Saturday. How's that? Would that be sufficient problem for you? Oh god, Esprit says, yeah. So Esprit's running a Pathfinder group and has very bravely invited me to be a player in that. Now, I have no intention of being problematic, but seeing as Esprit wants some kind of consequences for their bad luck. You don't want to get shot in the crossfire, Ellie? Well, Ellie, give me a d20. Give me a d20, let's see. $14? You are safe. 20 seconds on Hype Train? Yeah, Hype Train is just about to time out. We can get away with this one Relic Fisher and we're all good. If someone's trying to time it, they need to remember there's a delay. And... with her.
Another job.
Now, you guys have a little bit of stream delay, but on my side, I extracted the second the Hype Train finished. Just want to be clear on the timing on that. And, hey, I got 100 ducats! Got gold! Ah! We do like a bit of gold. Oh, isn't that lovely? Isn't that a lovely one right there? Okie dokie then. With that, we are definitely now going to wrap this up here. Thank you very much, everyone, for the support. I really, really do appreciate that. So that, should it come to it that the new management agency decides to up the rent on this place, thanks to you lots, I can probably afford that. But with that, that is definitely where we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you very much for joining in. I will see you in the next one on Friday, which is, of course, the dev stream. So definitely do tune in for that so that we can have a look at what is coming to Warframe together. But that's all for now. See you in the next one.